Like 3 years of his career, my bro was telling Brett Favre, "Hey man, it's 3rd and 2, man. Like, like please don't throw a pick. I don't know what to tell you."
Thanks. What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Open Field Podcast. We're back at it again. Unfortunately, the whole crew ain't here, and we know why. We know why the whole crew isn't here today. It's unfortunate. They better
Earl, I'm on your head, boy. The next time you show
sure.
your face, I'm on your head.
Hey, we spoken on that Josh Allen pack tonight. Spoken on that Josh Allen.
Hey, the Super Bowl isn't next week, so there's no way he's missing 2 weeks in a row, right?
Oh, he might.
So,
He might.
hey,
Nah,
better see him next week. With that said,
he might.
The AFC and NFC Conference Championship happened, and we have potential history on both sides. How are we feeling about this game? Well, let's start off. Let's start off with the big game first. AFC Championship. Talk about it. Bills, Chiefs. What is our thoughts?
Let me go first, fellas. It was fantastic game. Fantastic game. Like 2 teams at the top of their powers, and they found ways to make plays. Now, this just shows where the Chiefs just know how to win in these situations. The Bills flinched. If it was like a staring contest, the Bills flinched, and they had plenty of chances to. Because in the beginning of the game, if anybody watched the stream, Riddell was losing his mind because I'm like, hey man, how many times these people go fumble and the Chiefs not get the ball, you know? And it's just the way it worked out, and they were swapping points. Now, look, you can always combat calls. I still think Xavier Woods didn't catch that ball, and I think that Josh Allen got the first down, but it's whatever the call was on the field, you know. That's just what you do. And it was a tough game, and you just had to make plays. You just had to make plays at the end, and you couldn't. And I'm like, at this point, either Tom Brady come out of retirement or Joe Burrow finally learns how to start a season off like fast. That's the only way you're gonna beat him. Like, I don't know what to tell y'all. Like, because even Mahomes, this thing, you know, you can say this as a winner when they were talking in the post game press conference. It was like, hey Josh, I'm sorry it had to be us. He's like, I love that dude. I'm sorry it had to be us. And I'm like, only winners can say that. Because ain't nobody else, ain't no way Lamar could say that to Josh Allen. Josh Allen just be cool after that. Like,
people hated him for that. People hated him for that. That he said that.
Yeah, but it was a fantastic game, and it's just the Chiefs knew how to win that situation, and the Bills didn't. And you know, that's just how it works out sometimes. Football's not fair.
Yeah, I think the difference for me was you look at the way the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes started that game. It was like 5 straight play actions. Mahomes, good throw after good throw after good throw. That's the thing with Mahomes is he's either going to make the plays when it counts or he's going to start off hot early. And, I mean, they just had a very well-balanced attack the whole game. I think the turnovers, that one turnover really, really set them back. But I think that they would win more comfortably if Mahomes doesn't turn that ball over there. I don't think either quarter. I think Mahomes played well. I don't think he played great. I don't think Josh played well though. And this is a difference. Like Josh came in that game tight. Those first 2 drives, he was tight. He was forcing throws.
He almost threw 2 picks.
Like if you look at, if you watch Josh Allen in the regular season, like the off script stuff, like that stuff just looks way more fluid than it did in this game. There's just a lot of situations where he's putting the ball in harm's way. And yeah, like you can get away with, you know, just making, you know, the right plays, you know, just being conservative against the Ravens when Lamar has 2 turnovers. But when Patrick Mahomes on the other side, bro, you got to come with their A game. And I don't think Josh came with this A game. I don't think he came with the C game. I think it was B+. But that's not gonna win the game for you, sadly.
It's tough, man.
Yeah,
gotta knock out the champ.
And shout out Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo, bro, because
my God.
that last blitz was pure genius.
He blitzed at the perfect time.
And they literally were just getting Xavier Worthy in space, mesh routes, that type of stuff down the field. And then, you know, Mahomes had like 2 big throws to Juju Smith-Schuster that went for like big plays, but they weren't like deep down the field passing plays. They were just really good precision time and throws by Mahomes. Yeah. So it's a collective effort at this point. I mean, they're not gonna beat you the same way they did back in the day when they had prime Kelsey and prime Tyreek Hill. They're gonna
We may
win.
need
They're
to
gonna
revisit that Steve Spagnuolo is one of the greatest defensive coordinators of all time conversation. I'm just saying, but
Absolutely.
I'm just going
Absolutely.
to disagree. That's just
Absolutely.
me.
Absolutely.
That's just
Yeah.
where we're at.
Yeah, I honestly love like that first drive from the Chiefs. That RPO. He was just throwing dots to Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown was actually catching the ball, which is surprising because he can't catch water if it fell out of the boat. Anyway, so when I say that like Mahomes had a phenomenal game, so did Josh Allen. Like hats off to them. They didn't fill up the stat sheet and nothing like that, but they had some phenomenal throws. They did everything they could to win the game. But Mahomes had a game that you thought Josh Allen would have. Mahomes ran the ball, extended plays with his legs. Josh Allen didn't do it that much like he did all season. Like you see Josh Allen put on the Superman cape and he just takes over a game. And I don't know what the game script was. They wanted to, you could tell they wanted to use James Cook a lot more. And they were effective with that. He had some good runs. But Josh Allen, he gotta extend plays with his legs as well. Like, I mean, he had what one or two scrambles, and they didn't see that coming. But Mahomes, he extended plays with his legs. He got down the field. He was making the throws. He wasn't outside of that one fumble that messed up snap. He didn't really have. He had no other miscues outside of that. So
No.
when I saw like how great these two quarterbacks are playing, like it's just great to see that like we're gonna be seeing this for years. Like this is one of the greatest games I've ever seen. And the first greatest game I've ever seen was when what was it, 2 years ago when Tyreek Hill was still back on the
13 seconds.
team. Yeah, the 13
I
seconds.
think 3 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, 3
2 or
years.
3, yeah, 2 or 3. Yeah,
That was
but
divisional too. Which was
yeah,
crazy.
great game. But
Yeah.
I mean, we had to have this conversation where Josh Allen is 0-4 against Mahomes in the playoffs, and people say,
And this
"Oh,
is
they're
probably his worst game against him.
yeah." People are on the same. Oh, Ham and Lamar and all them on the same tier. No, Patrick Mahomes is on the tier by himself, and then it's Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Lamar because he's ran through the gauntlet with all those guys in the playoffs and he's beat them all. So we gotta give Mahomes his respect. We gotta give Andy Reid his respect. Mahomes and Reid are like one of the greatest duos of all time. We gotta give Steve Spagnuolo his respect. What do you have? 4 Super Bowl titles already?
He has 2 with the Giants and then
Mm-hmm.
2 with the Chiefs. I'm
Yeah.
I don't know if he was with the Chiefs their first one. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that blitz at the end of the game, which caused Josh Allen to just chuck the football. It got there, Dalton Kincaid just didn't catch it. Like
Also,
Mark
what do we
Andrews.
say?
Talk about that final drive because I want to get some things cleared because people. We'll talk about that. Also, real quick, quick question: why would the Bills let Benford play knowing he was just in concussion protocol?
Because it's the playoffs and you have a chance.
Yeah,
to
you
go
get
Super
cleared to
Bowl.
play. You get cleared to play.
Exactly.
And
It's just unfortunate that who hit him? Wasn't it DeMar Hamlin?
Mhm.
what did Bill
it-
Belichick always say? Everyone plays injured. By the end
Yeah.
of the season, everyone's playing injured. That's how it is. And like
Especially with a 17 game season.
bro, no excuse for James Cook to have 13 carries in this game. There's just
That's
no
what
excuse.
I kept,
Yeah.
Michael. I kept saying that the whole game. I was like, why is he not in the game? Brandon, every time I was like, why? Look, I got no
Yeah.
problem with the backup Johnson. I don't know his first name, but I was like,
He's good.
why
He's good.
was
Yeah,
he
but
not? Why this every time he gets the ball, something great happens, even if he's just getting a couple
He's going
yards.
God mode.
absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
like just give him the ball. Just
They
give him the
cannot stop
ball.
him. They couldn't stop him. They couldn't stop him.
And it's like, and I sat there, and I was just sat there so frustrated because I'm like, God, the way they're gonna win this game is James Cook is the
Yeah,
answer.
they're gonna have to. Yeah.
And Joe
I mean,
Brady's
and-
getting
and-
too cute.
We don't know.
I
We don't
said,
know. We don't know the behind the
Brady,
scenes
don't
stuff.
get
Maybe he was nicked up. Maybe fatigue or something like that. I don't know. We don't know the behind the scenes. But 13 carries just ain't enough for James Cook.
I hear you. I hear
Yeah.
you. Trust me, I do. But at the same time, we're acting like this is just something easy to say because all year, James Cook and the Bills' running offense was by committee all year.
Yeah.
All year. And
Yeah.
last game, the Bills, Ty Johnson was cooking. So it was James Cook and Ty Johnson that was cooking. So
Yeah.
the thing is, James Cook is a feature back for sure. But They love to bring in Ty Johnson to switch it up. Ty Johnson's more of their receiving back, and sometimes you can overthink
I think
it.
Ray Davis is better.
Have gotten more carries,
Yeah,
probably, but there was
but James
plenty of.
Cook's best asset is the passing.
You said what?
I think James Cook's best asset is his catching ability.
But Ty Johnson's their receiving threat, and he's their third down back too. So
Look,
I
I
think-
definitely agree. I agree with what you're saying, Riddell. But that game
13
told
carries
you.
wasn't enough.
Yeah, that game told you that I understand we do it by committee, but today, James Cook getting the carries. He's just hot. That's what as a coach you should, as an offensive coordinator, because I'm not gonna say that about Sean McDermott. He's the head coach. You got other things to worry about. He's watching the defense. But as the OC or somebody in the offensive staff should be like, look, especially as a running back coach, James just good today. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what he ate, but just give him the ball.
Yeah.
Just give him the ball. That's what should have happened.
That's the separator from Super Bowl winning teams to teams that are good. Is that you give a guy like that 20 carries in a game.
Make the adjustment. Make the adjustment.
Case in point, let me give you guys a great example. The 28-3 Super Bowl. The best running back on that team, Lonnie can tell you, was LeGarrette Blount. Bro was their thumper, their guy who started every game. But when the Patriots started coming back, who was on the field? James Cook
White.
was on the field. James
Yeah,
White was on the
White.
field.
Yeah.
James White was on the field. And he went crazy. He was hot. He every time he ran the ball, he was great. He was taking people's ankles in that game. But he was just, as a coach, you just need to recognize that. Now, obviously, maybe Josh could have said something. Yeah. Josh could have said something. Hey, James, every time we get James a ball, maybe we should get him some more carries. But man, also as a quarterback, you're managing. You're also managing a lot of stuff, right?
His job.
But I'm just like, you just gotta recognize that. Like the Chiefs recognize that at certain points. The Chiefs were like, Kareem Hunt's the guy today.
He's take Pacheco out of here.
And Riddell, you said that James Cook in Dalvin Cook is a conversation. When we were in that, if Dalvin Cook and James Cook's conversation, I'm not saying it's not, because he was really like that. If that's a conversation, he should be he should be giving more leeway. I'm not saying that that's the separator, because we're not going to excuse the fact that the Bills basically the whole game went their way, and Josh Allen as the quarterback didn't put them in a position to get comfortable in that game at all. So we still give the blame to Josh Allen, but the key to this game to me was running the football, not letting the Chiefs get away with that poor run defense that they kind of got exposed in against the Texans. And they just didn't do that. They got too cute. Look at the first drive. So
should I say something nice about this game? Or
yeah, Lonnie, you go.
Well, the one thing I want to say, and then Lonnie, you can talk about the game in its totality. I get what y'all are saying. Trust me, I do think James Cook is a guy. But I feel like we are, because this happens quite a bit where people go like, it's oftentimes, it's the same conversation every single time. Oh, they should have gave this running back more carries. Ty Johnson didn't have an extraordinary amount of carries. A lot of the situations where he did get carries is just maybe one or two plays where he shouldn't have. Like the first play, which got stuff. I think it probably would have got stuff regardless. But James Cook should have been in the game. 100% agree. Do not disagree. But other than that, he was used for third down situations. A lot of the times, what they were doing is passing it or running it with Josh Allen. Ty Johnson only had 6 carries. Like, it's not James Cook. When they were rolling with the run game, they were just feeding him. Those drives, they were just feeding him. A lot of the other times was just situations where the Bills weren't really doing anything on offense in general. So,
Riddell, I think a big problem with the fan base and is Sean McDermott. Like, he's like kind of stuck. Like, when he makes a game plan, you stick with the game plan, and like they don't really adjust a lot in game. It's like they stick with the game plan and they ride it out no matter what. But when you're playing someone like the Chiefs, if something's working, you gotta adjust. If something's not going well, you have to adjust. Like, you can't just wait it out and just keep on saying like, "Oh, the game plan will work itself out." That's why you guys are like 0-4 against the Chiefs, because the Chiefs can adjust. Andy Reid can adjust his offense. Spagnuolo can adjust the defense. The Bills stick with the same game plan.
I don't know, because for the most part, they were more of like a zone type team, and they adjusted in terms of playing man, what you do have to do. But the Chiefs are the better adjustment team. Like, you play man on the Chiefs, which you should, because their receivers are trash.
They're gonna run mesh.
But
Xavier Worthy.
But yeah, they ran a lot of screens, meshes. They found a way to get through your man. You don't want to run zone because obviously Patrick Mahomes will pick apart that zone.
Right.
So they try to do something else. The thing is, in this game in particular, in the first half, the Chiefs were cooking that defense, right?
They were.
And
They
then
were.
the second half, the Chiefs should have been up by way more, but they got stuffed the first drive and the second drive.
Yep.
And then the infamous fourth down play happened for the Bills, and they couldn't convert when it was their opportunity to make it very difficult for the Chiefs. Sean McDermott, I know a lot of people, the reason why I'm pushing back a little bit, not necessarily because what you guys are saying is incorrect, but because I feel like people want to point fingers everywhere else, but you got the MVP on your team that is not getting that blame. Because regardless of whatever game plan, if the Chiefs lost this game for whatever reason, I would put a lot of blame on Patrick Mahomes. I would point other places, but it starts with the best player on the team. Because Josh Allen had the opportunity at the end of the game. We'll talk about it. And he couldn't get it done.
Yep.
So,
and I think Ray Davis is better than Ty Johnson. I would rather have Ray Davis out there. I know Ty
Ray
Johnson
Davis had a bad injury a couple weeks ago, which is why.
Because I like Ray Davis a lot. If that's the case, then it's whatever. I like Ray Davis a lot. I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be solid. I think that running back duo is going to be really good in the future.
Yeah.
But Lonnie, go ahead.
No, it was a great game. The Chiefs showed why they're the damn Chiefs. Overall, I feel like we do underrate how complete of a team they are. Yes, their receivers and running backs are kind of inconsistent, but everything else is either very good to elite. Pat Mahomes, I think we were saying earlier, like this was one of his worst playoff games, and it's still better than like 99% of quarterbacks' playoff games. It's fucking ridiculous. I hate it. But my only worry with the Chiefs is can they? Because I think when it comes to the Super Bowl, I think the offense is gonna have a little bit more trouble against the Eagles than they did against the Bills. I think the Eagles match up a lot better defensively. I think with their lack of wide receiver talent, even with the prowess of Patrick Mahomes, Cooper DeJean, Slay, Quinton Mitchell, they're going to give those wide receivers hell. So it's going to take a lot of Mahomes magic to pull that off. If it ends up being like a high-scoring game, I kind of trust the Eagles a little bit more than in terms of scoring prowess than the Chiefs. But we'll get into that later. But no, it was a great game. Josh Allen. We were saying like how like Michael was saying how he was tight. I think that's fear. Like that at some point, like you're afraid and like it's that precognitive notion like I have to play perfect. Josh Allen came into that game thinking I have to play perfect. And so it's like last year with Lamar's like I have to play perfect to beat Mahomes, and he started off really tight, really slow, and really inconsistent, and he wasn't playing like himself. Same thing with Josh Allen this year. Mahomes has that fear factor in these players now that Tom Brady had, that we've seen other players have, that's like, yeah, you might be more talented than me, but I'm smarter than you, and your fear of me is why we're going to win. That's the same thing. Peyton eventually feared Tom Brady. Big Ben feared Tom Brady. Philip Rivers feared Tom Brady. Even though they might have had better rosters or better offenses, that fear kind of evened it out a little bit on top of Tom Brady being the genius that he is.
Well, Philip Rivers was scared of everybody. That's why he ain't win nothing. But yeah,
overrated. Most overrated QB of all time.
Anyway. He won absolutely. He doesn't deserve to be in that conversation with Peyton and Ben Roethlisberger. He won.
But the credence that I'll give to that old era is when the Patriots had a downturn in talent. I said this on the show last time. Teams found a way to beat them. They just did. Like Pittsburgh, not really. But
Pittsburgh
Brady went a long time without a Super Bowl, and that's not necessarily because some of those performances that Brady had in the playoffs, obviously he had like the Ravens performance, I think at like 11, that was just bad. But like a lot of those performances were good, and he lost. So you see a team like the Eagles with Nick Foles go out there and put up 40 against him, like in Tom Brady's arguably his best performance in his career in the playoffs, and they lose. So I feel like that's also why. Josh Allen's got to take blame, just like Lamar. And Joe Burrow, fine, he's beat Mahomes, but that was by far the biggest choke job Mahomes ever had. It's not even close in the playoffs. Like that second half was abysmal.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're all.
He learned from that. You ever seen him do that since?
Oh yeah.
Nope.
Not even close to that.
That's why it's hard to bet. Still, it's hard to bet against Mahomes because it's not like it's been all sunshine and rainbows, even though he's been so successful in 7 years. He's choked before. He understands that feeling.
Yeah.
So
That's why you say. That's why you see him playing more loose. That's why you see him carefree. That's why he's clutch. I mean, you can say, oh, we could put Josh Allen. The Chiefs are going to do the same thing. You can't say that. You can't say that. He's not clutch. The clutch factor is a thing, bro. That's what separates the goods from the greats.
That's why I fight against that. That's why, like I said yesterday on BSS, I was fighting against what Ty said. I sat there, was like, Ty, go back and watch, because we were talking about the Bucks Packers. He's like, well, Brady threw 3 picks. I'm like, if you're just looking at the stats, then you didn't watch that game, because as bad as Brady played in the second half of that game was as great as he played in the first half. Like that throw to Scotty Miller, put that shit in the Smithsonian. That's how great that was. And like you said, like you just got to find a way to beat. You got to find a way to beat that guy, whoever that guy is. And guess what? Next year we're gonna go in the same thing where that number 2 quarterback spot's up. Josh Allen got it for now, but if Joe Burrow figures it out, it don't matter. Like at this point with Lamar, Burrow, and Allen, your regular seasons basically don't matter.
They don't matter.
They don't matter at all.
Especially
you don't have a trash defense like the Bengals.
But okay, you can blame the defense, but Joe Burrow's teams notoriously start off really slow.
Is that Joe Burrow or is that Zach Taylor?
Okay, you can blame Zach Taylor all you want. You should never be losing.
Joe Burrow's still putting up 30, but they're giving up 40. That's
okay, then explain the loss of the Patriots, Lonnie. Explain the loss of the Patriots. And you had no business losing that game.
And like people forget, before Joe Burrow got hurt last year, they started off slow, and then they went in and they whooped the Niners' ass on like week 5. And then that flipped the switch.
Then he got injured.
That's also coaching. We can't.
I mean, but
I understand. Number 1 in everything. We're not gonna be like, oh, Joe Burrow is not playing well. It's like, oh no, their number 1 corner is giving up the most yards, the most passing yards, and the second quarter, and their number 2 corner.
Okay, we wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't, just because we've seen a pattern with Joe Burrow teams, whether or not you want to blame the coach or you want to blame the quarterback. Because we wouldn't be doing this like we would.
Everybody's to blame.
He's part of that.
Yeah,
he's part of that.
Well, like,
whether or not you want to blame Zach Taylor or not.
Pecking order, because we also have to talk about that offensive line. How they're like they've been
they're abysmal. They're abysmal.
You want okay, Lonnie? Come on, we know why we're Lonnie.
Is he top 3 at fault? Is he top 4? The answer is no.
Lonnie, who cares? He's at fault because that's a product of his team.
He's on the team. He's on the 52-man roster. Yeah, he's at fault.
Lonnie, he's also one of the biggest reasons why that team is as highly touted as he is, because guess what? He's one of the elite quarterbacks. And Lonnie, stop caping up for Joe Burrow. This is the product of his team.
All right,
it's a product of his teams.
No, right now, guys, let's name until we get to Joe Burrow. Let's name all the reasons why the Bengals have been failing. What's number 1, guys?
Oh my!
We're gonna see where Joe Burrow lays. We're gonna see where Joe Burrow.
Why? It doesn't matter. We're not. You're the one looking. You're the one thinking I'm putting
number 1.
Lonnie, you're the one thinking I'm putting all the blame on him. All I said was that he deserves blame because that happens with his team.
Let me put my camera on, Michael. What's number 1 for the Bengals?
What are we doing here? Like,
Lonnie,
come on. Lonnie, come on. Lonnie, come on.
Lonnie.
I'm making a point. No, I'm making a point.
This is nasty.
No. Listen. I'm answering your question.
I say number 2. I say I get to 4. I say to get to 4. I get the defense. I get the offensive line.
All I'm hearing is
no.
And then I get Burrow.
Ho.
Okay.
Number one is their cheap owner who doesn't want to pay anybody, who doesn't want to bring somebody in the building. Number 2,
he gets blamed too. You think this is what he thinks. This is what he thinks. No, Brandon. This is what he thinks I'm doing. Brandon, this is what he thinks I'm doing. I made a blame pie and I gave it all to Joe Burrow. You know what I did? I made multiple blame pies and I gave it to different people who have Bengals affiliations.
What happened, Randall, was that there was a murder happened, and you're like, oh yeah, the bystander across the street, which is Joe Burrow, he was at fault too because he saw it happen.
No, that's Joe Burrow is not a bystander. Joe Burrow is not a bystander.
Getaway car.
Joe Burrow's not a bystander.
No,
Joe Burrow's not a bystander. Stop acting like no. This is my problem. This is my problem, Lonnie, right now, because you're acting like Joe Burrow's blameless.
I'm not
He's
saying
part
he's
of it.
blameless, but we just
He's
think
not a bystander.
more at fault than Joe Burrow.
Okay, Joe. Okay, guess what? Then Joe. The Bengals robbed a bank. Joe Burrow was a getaway driver. Guess what? He's still going to jail. He's still going to jail because he's part of the heist.
Driver. He's the one that accidentally opened the door for the robbers. That's what he did.
No, he's not.
Oh, okay.
No,
all
he's
right.
not. Stop being nasty. What are we doing?
I like how you guys made these analogies on the fly. I really like that. But
What are we doing?
That was beautiful. That was masterful work. I'll give you that.
Listen, blame the whole thing.
At the
Joe
end of the
Burrow
day,
Joe. Sorry, real quick, Brandon. The reason why Joe Burrow get brought up because he's the face of the organization. Yeah. The same way you will bring it up, the same way we're doing with Josh Allen, the same way we're doing with Lamar. Every time,
way just to be like, oh yeah, the quarterback of the team.
The quarterback gets blamed.
Just name the like
Lonnie. You literally saw it with your quarterback for years.
Yeah,
Lonnie, stop. The quarterback gets the most blame and he gets the most glaze depending on how the team performs.
That's a casual thing to do.
But also, there's a reason why he has the most responsibility on the team, Lonnie. He has the most responsibility on the team as a player. He has the most responsibility on the team as a player.
Yes,
that's what the quarterback has.
But when everything else is failing, I'll say it again. I'll before you cut me off. Number one corner gave up the most yards. Number two corner gave up the most touchdowns. Offensive line probably bottom 5 for a while. They were giving up they were averaging
probably
7 sacks a game. That wasn't on him. Coaching, lack of a pass rush outside Trey Hendrickson. I can keep on naming shit. It was like, and then you get to Joe Burrow. Yes. So it's like, if he's set up to fail, I'm not gonna be like, the guy set up to fail. Yeah, let's name him one of the reasons.
Okay, so guess what? He still gets a blame pie. He still gets a blame pie like everybody else.
I hear you.
What are we doing?
I hear you because I respect Burrow. I think he's the second best quarterback in the NFL. I've been changed from that mindset for a while.
Absolutely.
But ultimately, when you're in that tier of quarterback, you 100% deserve blame because we got to recognize that there are situations like, for example, in the game against the Ravens, even though Jamar Chase did take accountability, Joe Burrow threw a terrible interception that cost them to lose that game.
That's true.
Especially in the game that the Ravens should not have came back, to be honest.
Yeah.
So he choked against
the dropped 45 on them.
He has to be perfect. He has to put up points, but at the same time, he can't choke when it matters most. Like you're one of them ones, right?
You can't leave 1 or 2 players out there, man. You can't.
Yeah. So like Joe Burrow, I think for the most part, you can blame a lot of things in terms of why this team is so bad. But Joe Burrow also deserves blame if he's done things where he's choked, and he's choked like 2 out of the 2 or 3 games this season where it's like, Joe Burrow, you got to lock in the final possession, and he didn't. And that's why they didn't make the playoffs. That's not why they didn't make the playoffs, but it's a big reason why, considering he is the guy.
It's part of the equation.
Yeah,
it's part of the equation.
Unlike the other top quarterbacks, when we're talking about the upper echelon, like the top 5, there have been games this year where it's like, hey, defense or special teams, they bailed out the Chiefs, or they bailed out Lamar, or they bailed out Josh Allen. Has that happened with the Bengals this year? Hell no. So like Joe Burrow is out of all the top echelon quarterbacks, he has to play the most perfect out of all of them for them to succeed.
Lonnie, we understand when you are a top guy, when you are one of the top quarterbacks, guess what? The blame pie is unfair.
Absolutely.
Unfair. So yes, we all recognize that, Lonnie. I have not disagreed with anything that you've said. All I've said that he deserves blame.
Yes, he deserves blame.
Going into New England, arguably one of the worst teams in football coming into at the start of the season. Easy win. Okay, week 1, it's a little bit different, but you're still supposed to win that game. Jacoby Brissett at QB. If Mahomes lost that game,
boy, on his head top. National media would go into frenzy, bro.
On his head top.
Hey, remember in 2016?
I cooked Lamar when they lost
by the Chiefs, and everyone said Tom Brady was washed. Max Clemens said Tom Brady would be washed by the end of the year. Like that's what it would be. It'd be that level.
People would have a huge overreaction.
So I'm just sitting there like he may not be the biggest reason, because you're right. There's plenty of reasons why. There's plenty of reasons. And he's not number one. But when you're a top guy,
You gotta take the blame,
you got to take the blame, man. That's
It
how
is
it's
what it is.
always worked.
Yeah,
That's how it's always worked.
Is it Joe
I guess
Burrow's
that's how
fault
it's
that
worked.
they
I
are
also
not
feel
a Super Bowl contender? No. Is it Joe Burrow's fault that some of the games that they lost this season that prevented them from going to the playoffs? Does he have blame for that? Yes, for sure. So it's like, at the end of the day, he's one of them ones. He deserves blame. He can't get no blame. That's kind of crazy.
He definitely
Yeah.
gets blame, but like the whole when we're talking about teams and like we instantly go to like quarterback for blame. I'm sorry. Yeah, is that something that we've always done? Yes, but is that two things can be true? Is that also a way for like casuals to digest football? Yes. I don't consider myself a casual, so when I break down why teams lose, I'm not just gonna say, "Oh, the quarterback." I'm not just gonna instantly name the quarterback because that's a casual take. That's an ESPN. That's ESPN shit. That's not what we do here. So
Yeah, but at the
reason
at
why
the
the
same
Bengals
time,
lost, that's not what I'm doing.
I hear you. But Joe Burrow also
He does have blame. Yes, but
he does have blame, and I think the Bengals owner is
Just
terrible.
a bugged
I
out.
want to be very
Terrible.
clear. I think the Bengals owner is terrible.
He never gets
But
enough smoke for how bad he is.
Joe Burrow.
imagine if they had Kevin Bates this year.
I hear you, but Joe Burrow has made it very clear he wants Jamar Chase and he
Yes.
wants T. Higgins. We got to recognize if Joe Burrow's getting paid that money, Jamar Chase is getting paid that money, and T. Higgins getting paid that money, it's going to be hard to build this team properly. You got the elite you got the best core of receivers in the NFL by far. Not by far. It's you and the Eagles. With that said, there's going to be liabilities other places. So we got to recognize some things at the end of the day, even though the Bengals owner is terrible,
Yeah.
paying a receivers this much is going to handicap this team.
And
Joe Burrow got to recognize that as well. So it's like
to me,
there's so many factors to it, but this defense is historically bad. I've already given it. I haven't seen the defense this bad in a very, very, very
and
long
to
time.
me, that's why you brought up the fact of you look at Josh Allen getting rid of, or not getting rid, but not having Diggs, Mahomes not having Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill, yeah.
The reason why I take Josh Allen over Joe Burrow at this moment is obviously Joe Burrow made the Super Bowl. That's fine. I don't think he played great. He played well. Obviously, when you make the Super Bowl, you got to play well. But he didn't have like an all-time great run, and I think Josh Allen has been good in the playoffs. He just hasn't been Superman in the playoffs. But when I look at what would Joe Burrow be if he didn't have a Jamar Chase, if he just had a T. Higgins, he would have to use his legs more. And to me, I feel like I don't think Joe Burrow is capable of doing that because of literally the fact that he gets injured. That's it. Like he can't run like Mahomes and Allen can in big spots because he gets hurt so much. Right? If you're talking about processing the field, decision making, you can make an argument that Joe Burrow is better than those guys. But when I'm looking at just the sheer arm talent, the mobility, like Joe Burrow's not immobile, but when you're talking about those two guys specifically, they make key runs in spots where you need it. And obviously their offensive line's better. There's a lot more that comes into play.
Yeah.
But I'm taking Josh Allen because of his physical abilities that he has over Joe Burrow. Because to me, there's not much of a difference in play. If you want to argue Joe Burrow's better in the pocket, fine. I'm not going to hate if you have Joe Burrow over them.
I don't
think it's a clear.
My only small pushback is like their rookie season. Joe Burrow and T. Higgins were cooking before he tore his ACL.
Yeah, he was.
They were cooking, and T. Higgins did end up. He looked like that. I didn't think they were going to pick Jamar Chase because T. Higgins ended with like 900 something yards, and he was cooking. Even after Joe Burrow, he was still cooking by himself, with whoever their backup was. So. Everyone was glazing Joe his rookie year with just T. Higgins and I think it was Tyler Boyd or whatever.
Yeah, Tyler Boyd. Yeah,
yeah, he was cooking.
He had 1,000 yards that year.
But to kind of go back to the Chiefs and the Bills, so this game was interesting. It was good. We probably should. We're a football podcast. We will address all the complaints and we'll address all the controversial news. But I think for me, it starts with the final drive. Because I've made this point, made a clip. I've said this very, very cutthroat and clearly. Saying that Josh Allen deserves no blame just because of that final throw is ridiculous. It is a ridiculous thing to say.
Who said that?
I'm not talking about y'all.
No.
It's like Twitter.
Who's
Dad Orlovsky.
That is the
Dan
So
Orlovsky
many
said that?
people are saying that.
Dan-
So
Yes,
Dan Or-
yes, absolutely.
Dan Orlovsky basically said both quarterbacks played extremely well in both games. It came down to drops. That's what he said. That's literally what he did.
yeah, and there's a lot of people, people.
You
Carson
know
from
too much about the
Nerdcast
game, Dan, to be
is
saying that.
saying that Josh Allen.
We respect it. I respect it.
There are so many people on the internet caping for Josh Allen, and I already said this because I obviously praise Mahomes. I think he's the GOAT. But I keep that energy for all the quarterbacks if they do not perform. I said I was criticizing Lamar and I'm criticizing Josh. The people who criticize Lamar and not criticizing Josh, that's hypocritical.
Hypocritical.
Right, that's absolutely hypocritical. Yeah. So if we diagnose what that happened in the last round, because people acting like, that was the only play that happened. Josh Allen had 6 possessions. Other than the first possession, which you could argue James Cook should have been in, Ty Johnson got stuffed immediately. So would it have made a difference? I don't really care. But he had right after that play, he scrambled for 13 yards and got a first down. He had a full fresh set of downs. So don't talk to me about that first play. It meant nothing. So he had 4 plays. First play, he he was looking at Khalil Shakir and he almost threw an interception. Let's be very clear.
Yeah.
And he threw it wildly. And honestly, he had 2 people open. He could have went, but he just kept on eyeing.
That was the worst throw he had all day.
It was not a good throw, right? So first play, dud. Second play,
dud.
They did a little disguised blitz where they went back in coverage, and he threw the ball. He was eyeing Curtis Samuel. I'll be honest, they were kind of locked up. He was eyeing Curtis Samuel, but he threw it too low, and they got knocked down on the line of scrimmage. So 2 duds in a row. 2 duds in a row. Third play, it was a blitz. He checked it to a screen to Amari Cooper. And honestly, it probably was a good play, but Karlaftis made an amazing tackle.
Yeah, he did. Because if Karlaftis didn't make that tackle, I think Amari Cooper, he hits his head on the goalpost. I really do.
He could. I don't
And
disagree.
if it was someone with better yak, I don't think Karlaftis would have made that play.
Yeah. So I agree with you. But the fourth play, the infamous play that everybody's bringing up, let's add the full context. In this play, the perception, from my understanding, is that a blitz was coming again. So third down was a blitz, fourth down, another blitz is coming.
Yeah.
Josh Allen moved protection to the left, even though the pressure was shown to the right.
To the right.
So the pressure all came to the right, immediately hiked the ball. He immediately runs right. So he actually runs right into the blitz. And then the open, now Kincaid is butt naked open. And he's eyeing Kincaid. Now you could argue if he put protection in the right direction, he either could have hit Kincaid or he could have made a little quick, honestly, just a lob to Khalil Shakir and he would have been gone. Either way, I don't care which way you want to put it. But he ran right into the blitzers. The blitzers were right in the face. He threw a prayer, and it wasn't like the perfect pass because Kincaid had to change direction. So go against his momentum, dive while a defender's coming in this direction, and the ball was wobbly. It wasn't an easy catch. It wasn't like Mark Andrews dropping it. He should have caught it, but it's like that's not a routine catch to make in that situation. So I just want to put the full context that Josh Allen had plenty of opportunity. He didn't deliver, and just blaming Kincaid is disgusting work.
Side note, is Kincaid one of the biggest letdowns this year?
Who?
Yes.
Kincaid?
Yes, both of those tight ends because Kincaid, I don't know if he got hurt in the middle of the season or he got benched for Dawson Knox because he couldn't catch the ball. He just couldn't catch. He had so many bad drops in the middle of the season. It was ridiculous. They had to put Dawson Knox
in the offseason, we put him at top. Well, I didn't, but we put him around top 7 in the offseason just last year off his rookie year. He was abysmally bad. He was awful this year. He made no plays at all.
Drops, bro. It was just like
he was drops. He wasn't getting open, nothing.
He wasn't getting open crazy, but it's not like he was just getting boxed. Like when he was getting open, he was dropping the ball. But I see what you're saying, Rideau. 100%. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that was a beautifully disguised blitz. There's not a lot of quarterbacks that could, and yes, he kind of went towards the pressure. When we're talking about changing the protection, Young said it on Trent's podcast the other day. It's like if you change protection, you're probably going to lead a one-on-one with Chris Jones, and that's not going to go well. You're just going to get pressured up the middle because every time they get
better, that's better than having
though?
3 blitzers coming right to your face. Yes,
Is it? Because
Chris Jones 1v1 is way better than having 3 blitzers in your face.
All I'm saying is Chris Jones was putting pressure on Josh Allen. He wasn't necessarily getting by that guard like all the time, but he was pushing that guy deep into the pocket almost every single time he got one-on-one. So all I'm saying is like to flip his hips and throw the ball to Shakir, that's a tough play. But what I will discredit him for is not making more plays at the beginning of the game, fizzling out on the first drive, and just not taking advantage of the opportunities that were given to the point where you shouldn't have even really had to be in that position if we're being frankly honest. So that's where I'll give Josh Allen the blame. I just think it's a really, really I'm going to give more credit to Spagnuolo than blaming Josh Allen on that. I think, though, you got to understand, whether it's Josh Allen or to Joe Brady, we all know if Spagnuolo is in a position where he's threatened, he is going to blitz. He is
like
going
we
to
all know he's
blitz.
going to blitz. Like it's not,
especially in a position like that. You know he's got some crazy exotic blitz schemed up for a critical situation play like that. Like everybody in the building knows that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We saw it with the Brock Purdy in the Super Bowl. We saw that changed the game.
No, for sure. And the thing is, although Chris Jones would have gotten 1v1 protection, 1v1 blocker, and Chris Jones would have dominated, that's still a difference of like maybe 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
He might have
to
been able to
so
throw
much.
this screen pass to Khalil Shakir. I'm not saying
or he has more time to set his feet for a throw to Kincaid, where he can actually lead him, and it's a better throw and catch scenario. Ultimately, in that situation, he recognized the blitz on 3rd down. He saw the blitz coming on 4th down, but he didn't recognize it. That's on Josh Allen because he's on the field.
He got the yips for a second.
Yeah, like
as a star quarterback, you can't do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
also, it's just like when you look at Allen in the regular season, he is Superman, and in the playoffs against Mahomes specifically, he plays well. But besides that one game where it came down to that 13-second drive for the field goal, he hasn't necessarily played like Superman. He's not necessarily completely elevating his play from the regular season to the playoffs. And that's what I feel like the issue is, because in the regular season, all that improvising, that scrambling, that stuff is looking way cleaner and way better in the regular season than it is in the playoffs. And he's just running the ball way more in the regular season.
Actually, to add to that point too,
he had design runs, but
when the Chiefs versus Bills, when they played each other in the regular season, Josh Allen was doing everything to win that.
He was freaking phenomenal.
He was
Mahomes, like crazy.
He had a big 4th down play where he converted to ensure the win. He did everything.
That's why
that's not the thing.
That's why I was trying to say that Josh is better than Patrick.
Yeah. So it's like
we when Early said that.
But that's why that's what blows me, because we've seen it so many times. We've seen Josh Allen outplay Mahomes in the regular season. We've seen it before.
This happens all the time.
It happened last year.
And then he gets whooped in the playoffs. We get whooped, but
he doesn't get whooped, but he just doesn't win.
Yeah, you don't do it. He doesn't do enough to win. Like, bro, you gotta put your Superman cape on, because guess what? Guess who you got on the other side? You that 4th down play, you never saw the ball again. You missed that 4th down play, you never saw the ball again. You didn't even get a chance. Mahomes made sure to put a nail in the coffin. Like, you can't do that, bro.
And one thing too,
you get very slim opportunities.
The difference between Andy Reid and all these guys is that play to end it. That was just the epitome of who Andy Reid is. He said, "I'm going to run a design play that's just better than what you got on defense. We're gonna send P. Ryan on that little screen. You're not gonna expect it, and we're getting the 1st down, and we're icing the game." And that's what makes Andy Reid so special, and the fact that he fully trusts Mahomes. He does not have a problem with not running that ball there. A lot of coaches might not do that. Maybe with Mahomes they would, But Andy Reid doesn't care. He's going to go out with Mahomes.
Yeah,
And
they
that's-
ended
and
the
that's-
game. They're not giving the ball back to the Bills. They said, "Hell no, we
Not
ain't
at
doing
all.
that."
Yeah, we're not giving you nothing.
Especially after they
That's the last
settled
time
for
you
that
gonna see
field
that
goal
ball.
and that sack. They said, if we get another shot, we're not giving it back to you.
Yeah, you had 3 timeouts, 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to win the game, and they couldn't do it.
Nope.
They could not do it. But yeah, I just wanted to check. Like, I'm tired of the Josh Allen cape. I'm tired for a lot of cape. Tired of the Herbert cape. Tired of the Lamar cape. Tired of Josh Allen cape. Stop caping for these quarterbacks, bro.
Because so many pundits had Josh Allen over Mahomes. Rex Ryan said Josh Allen's the best football player in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole reasoning
Football, come on now. Like, football player?
No.
Like,
But
Saquon Barkley don't fucking exist, but you got it, man.
But like, all I'm saying is like, people say that Josh Allen does more with less. And if you want to say that the Chiefs team isn't as good or the Bills team isn't as good as the Chiefs as a whole, fine. But it's not like the Chiefs have crazy things to work with. They really don't. Sure, they have a lot of good run plays in critical situations, but they're not getting 5 yards to carry. They're just not. But shout out Trey Smith, though. Trey Smith's legit. Trey
He's a
Smith
good guard. Imagine bringing Kareem Hunt off the bench for your team to be the catalyst of your run game
and maximize
Off the couch, wasn't he? Even when he on
Off the
maximizing
couch,
and hold
bro.
Off the
Kareem
couch,
Hunt
bro.
off the couch.
Off the couch. Imagine relying on Hollywood Brown. And hey, I know people are gonna look at the stat sheet and go like, "Oh, Xavier Worthy's still not that."
He's not.
He's still not that guy, bro.
I mean, Riddell,
He's playing
not
better.
the
He's playing better than he did during the regular season, which ain't saying much.
because he's getting schemed up. That's what.
Yeah,
he's
it's
getting put in the
scheme.
hunger.
He's a gadget guy right now. He's not a pure receiver.
And I give Puka a lot of shit for getting schemed up by Sean McVay, but it's not even. But Puka's still legit. Like Puka still wins. Like he still wins because he's that good. Like in that game, Xavier Woods getting schemed up.
He did make that catch. I think that was a catch. The catch when it's fit. Also, people who don't know,
It wouldn't have mattered because they get the first down either way.
It hit the
Like they
ground.
wouldn't have been in the same position, but they still.
he
get the first
helped.
down.
It can hit the ground, but if it doesn't move, it's still a catch.
It moved.
No, it didn't. It stayed secure to his body.
Lonnie,
Yeah,
get
when I
the
saw
clip.
it, it looked like it didn't move to me.
It did not.
Lonnie,
move.
get the clip. I thought it
can.
moved when it hit the ground, but I'm whatever.
Hey,
I'm whatever.
hey,
on
guys!
that
We
one.
To
can bring it
everybody
up.
out
We can do
there,
it.
to everybody out there that says, it's the refs and all this stuff, guys, we've seen ticky tacky plays all the time where it could go either way. Let's be real. Des Bryant in that NFC divisional game against the Packers, that was a catch to me, but it didn't go that way.
I cried.
I've seen Calvin Johnson catch a ball.
I understand, Mike, when I was
literally
tough.
change it with his hand and slam it down on the ground. That's not a
like
catch.
14.
Like, dude, what's a
Right.
catch anymore? We don't know. So it goes either way. You
Yeah.
can't just blame the refs all the time. Come on, man. If
I-
you're not,
I'm sure,
if you're not
sure.
gonna be realistic, just don't watch football. I know what to
And
say.
Sure,
also,
Lonnie.
let's get rules out of the way for people who are freaking don't understand football and they think they do.
Yeah.
If it's 50-50 between the receiver and corner, receiver gets the ball every single time. The
Hello.
corner is not getting the ball in any of those situations.
Think of the
You do not
Seahawks.
know.
Think of the Seahawks versus the Packers. The
Hail Mary.
That Hail Mary where Russell throws it to whoever, I
Yep.
can't even remember. And one ref is going it's an interception, one ref's going a touchdown. They gave it to the receiver. So you can't act like this hasn't happened before. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's
the
a
Jesse
50.
James one too. The
Yeah.
Jesse James one is when they really decided.
Oh yeah,
to
Jesse
change
James
that.
against the Patriots. Yeah.
They didn't even change it because of Des. They changed it because of that.
And another thing with Josh Allen with the 4th and 1 call. Okay, the call on the field originally was it was a stop, it was a turnover. But they go back and they didn't have conclusive evidence. So as we all know, if it's not conclusive evidence, if it's not 100% sure, they can't tell, then they're going to go with the call on the field every time. So don't give me that. If it was the refs, they cheated from Mahomes. We're not doing that. This isn't
before we get
wrestling.
off
This isn't
this,
fake. This
before-
is made up.
And
Stop. We're not
I know,
doing that today.
I know Random said he thought he got it. I personally don't think he got it. I'm be honest.
So
I
before-
watched
You
the
can't even
replay.
tell. You can't 100% tell.
Exactly.
You're not 100% sure.
50-50 at bare minimum. We should all agree it's 50-50. So the
Yeah.
people crying that, oh, he for sure got it. Oh my God.
Don't lie.
Look, before we get off this, when people talk about the refs, Mahomes is still the most successful quarterback in the playoffs. He has a 111 passer rating in the playoffs. I know it's not all about stats, and it could be misleading because Drew Brees is second and Aaron Rodgers is fourth. We know that Rodgers has had some stinkers, right? And Brady's at 96, but I'm not slandering Brady because the thing about Brady was Brady in the situations where stuff was just going horrible, he still found a way to win the game. And that to me is why I respect Brady so much, because in most games, you're not taking him out. Unless he has an all-time crash out, he's always in position to win a game. But this is the most successful quarterback in the history of the game in the playoffs at this moment. And to sit there and say that it's the refs winning them these games, I'm not hearing it. I'm just not.
Look,
Like, and people will go to the Super Bowl performances instantly. And what I say to that is the low-scoring Super Bowl performances. The career playoff wins where defenses allowed 29 plus points, Mahomes has the most with 4. Brady is second with 3. So don't give me the refs argument because Mahomes plays his ass off. The Chiefs play their ass off. Sure, they get calls. So did every great team, not just the Patriots. Every team that was considered juggernauts. The Colts got calls. The Packers got calls with Aaron. I'm sure that the Brett Favre Packers got calls. All these guys, all the MVP darlings, they all get calls.
When you're a good quarterback, you're gonna get protected.
They gotta protect the asset.
I've seen a guy literally get roughing the passer on Peyton Manning when he put his thumb on his helmet. I've seen that. I've seen it happen. When you're that guy, they try to make sure you even breathe on them or you look at them wrong. They're gonna throw a flag. It is what it is. Don't act like it's not true. Unless you're a fan of a team that has crappy quarterbacks like the Browns or something, where you've never just seen that. Don't pretend like that doesn't happen for your team.
No, I mean, look, I completely agree. And you want to know why they protect the asset? Because you guys have shown the NFL that you guys care. Because guess what? When it's Monday night, week 8, and it's Browns, Panthers, and both Jameis and Jameis Winston and Bryce Young are playing, and they get a call like that, what we've all heard somebody say, you're not good enough to get that call. We've all heard somebody say that. You're not good enough to get that call. The reason why those people get those calls is because they earned it. They earned that right to get that call. Let's just not act like that doesn't happen. All the great play, they earned that right by winning.
And it ain't just football. It ain't just football. You get in there basketball. You get
basketball's worse.
All that.
Basketball is worse because the discrepancy of what a foul is and what isn't for star players and role players is way worse than football.
What are you kidding me? Look at James Harden. How many times he gets a foul? Way back when he was in his prime.
Look at any top 10.
Wow, that's a fact. I honestly, I think it's very clear, bro. Social media made people think they know.
Yeah. That's the problem. People, so many people have voices, bro, and they saying a lot of stuff, and it don't mean shit. Please stop if you don't know what you're talking about. Come on, man. Add some context to it.
Every top comment on any social media site is refs. It's just, dude, guys.
Yeah, like it's so disgusting.
Like, keep it real,
get
man.
over it.
We have to bring it up. Sorry, Lonnie. Random, you're Tom Brady, so you don't really care about the Patriots in its entirety. But the revisionist history of people, the Chiefs are way worse than the Patriots is crazy. It's insane. Going, oh, the Patriots never got these calls. Oh, the Patriots are less evil than the Chiefs. I'm like, bro,
what? You can go play for play on that. What are we doing? I don't understand that.
We forgetting the Deflategate happens. We forgetting Spygate happens. Like, the Chiefs players are way more unlikable than the Patriots. Like, come on,
dude.
Y'all
all
just
you
hate
need
them
to
because they're
see.
with it.
Go watch the Patriots dynasty and go watch how Bill Belichick answers questions and tell me that's not a villainous franchise, bro. And I love Bill. I'm not a Bill hater at all. But
niggas called
Bill
Belichick Darth Vader, including me as a child.
He literally had the crazy hood. I swear he did that on purpose. I swear he did. That big Darth Vader hood, he did that shit on purpose because he was the real villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've heard random come on this platform all the time talk about how players talk best about Bill all the time. Like, come on, like you will never hear nobody saying that about Andy Reid. I'm not gonna lie. That is never
Yeah.
happening.
The only person I can think of is LaShawn, but he's wild. He's crazy.
What did LaShawn say? I heard.
I think it's no. I think I mixed him up because he said because he was at one point he was attacking a lot of people. It was
No,
like
I think
Chip
it's
Kelly
Chip.
got
I
something.
think LaShawn hates Chip. I
I
don't
know.
think
No,
it's
Yeah,
he
for
hates Chip
sure.
Kelly. He hates Chip
I
Kelly.
think he
hates
hates Chip. Well, screw
For
Chip.
sure
Screw
hates
Chip.
Maybe it was Le'Veon Bell because he did play with the Chiefs for a
He
little
played
bit.
for
Yeah.
like maybe 1 year.
Well, he didn't
Like,
play,
I don't
but
know.
he was on
No,
the team.
he played in the.
Andy ain't a saint because I've heard Andy doesn't talk to rookies. So like he's not a saint either.
Hey
But
man,
obviously
get your credibility up. I don't know what to tell you.
But in the NFL, you have to have that sort of edge, or guys aren't going to respect you. Look at a guy like Barry Switzer, all buddy. What happens? One of the greatest, dynasties in NFL history collapses on his watch. Not because they didn't have talent, because they didn't have a guy that was going to be a warmonger. It's just how it is.
Yeah, bro. Hey,
Let's keep it moving.
we just had we had a Barry narrative.
I do have something to say about that.
About what? About what?
So,
Oh,
Oh, this man about to be nasty, huh?
I was about to crash. It's about to crash. Look at him, bro. I'm turning off my.
I'm like, did he just start stretching?
yeah, no, I did. You know what? Throughout my whole childhood, anytime I said I was a Patriots fan, I got nothing but hate. Nothing but hate. To this day, I still get hate. Why? Because Tom Brady whipped y'all like some stepchilds for 20 plus years.
That's true.
He
That's
was
true. He
smashing
did.
your mom and eating your fruit snacks for 20 years.
Fruit snacks is diabolical.
Yeah.
Right.
So I get the hate.
Well, you couldn't really
And
talk
right
shit to
now-
Giants fans.
And right now, Riddell is going through it because everyone's starting to hate on Mahomes and the Chiefs and stuff like that. Good.
The master instigator, the final
And
boss.
Guess what? I'm petty. So until
I'm
I
petty
can't
too.
breathe anymore. I love Patrick Mahomes. I'll say this right now. But guess what? If you show up next week or the week after, you're never gonna know. Why? Because I'm gonna be so damn nasty. As nasty as I could possibly be. I've been as nasty as I could be for the past week. Why? Because the Chiefs, guess what? You're all on top now. Now you get all the hate too. So guess what, guys? The NFL has made over $350 million.
No, Lonnie.
He's like a
stop,
mini
stop.
franchise. So of course they're getting
Lonnie.
all these damn calls. Guess what? Hey, the Chiefs are there's like a 90% difference between penalties between them and their opponents in the playoff in the last
Oh
8
my
9
God,
games.
bro.
That sounds a little suspicious to me. Also, NFL is named an entertainment company, not a sports company. So they're allowed to bend and rig stuff if they want to. Legally, you can't sue them for it if they wanted to. Just saying. That's just food for
Chat,
thought, guys.
disregard
Lonnie.
this.
That's
Lonnie
just
doesn't
food for
believe
thought.
this.
No, I'm
Lonnie
being
doesn't
nasty
believe
right now.
this,
Let me
chat.
crash
No,
out.
yeah,
Crash
let
out.
him crash out. We got. I'll have the answer. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it.
So
Lonnie doesn't believe this.
You better not go
I don't know
outside,
why
boy,
I
because
believe.
them
I don't know why
Swifties
I
gonna eat you up. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, so if
You
you
better not go
attack this
outside.
man,
Guess
bro.
what?
Attack this man.
They gonna
what?
get you
The
up out of here,
Patriots-
Lonnie. We ain't gonna see you no more.
Hey, did the Patriots get a lot of calls? Hell yeah, we did. You want to say the Tuck rule or whatever else? Yeah, we got them calls. But guess what? Now the Chiefs are getting it, and it's just in 4K. Now it's in 4K. So guess what? Pot meet kettle. Riddell, two things can be true. Did we win because we were the best team? Yes. Did we also win sometimes because of bullshit calls? Yes. Guess what? Chiefs are in the same boat. So I better see the same level of hate. And I know y'all still have like those therapy sessions because Tom Brady was eating your fruit snacks, eating all your Cheerios and Eggos, and giving your mom nothing but back shots and laughing about it. But guess what? Now
This is a family show, buddy. Let's not say that. Go ahead.
Now it's Mahomes' turn.
Back shots is diabolical.
Oh my
My
goodness.
God.
Hey man, I respected Lonnie being nasty, rooting for his boy Brady. I just feel like while I'm watching a game as a fan, like more so in the NBA, I complain about refs more in the NBA than I ever do in the NFL. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
In the NBA, there's just crazy stuff happening. But I mean, if you bring up refs in a serious conversation, I ain't taking you serious. I'm like,
Not at all.
not taking you seriously.
Not at all.
Hey, man. With that said, Patrick Mahomes is on his way for a three-peat, trying to really establish his legacy as being one of the greatest things that's ever existed in sports. And the Chiefs deserve a lot of respect with Andy Reid trying to become the greatest coach of all time, Steve Spagnuolo trying to become the best defensive coordinator of all time, and then Travis Kelce trying to be the best tight end of all time. And Chris Jones, although he is not in any conversation to be the best defensive lineman of all time, he is definitely making a very strong case that he 100% should be a Hall of Famer.
He should be on.
So shout out
I
the
think he
Chiefs.
should.
And now we go to the Eagles versus the Commanders, which was not nearly as interesting as of a game because the Eagles put belt to ass.
The Eagles played in a way I thought the Eagles did what I thought the Lions would have done to the Commanders if the Lions were healthy. But look, man, if anybody really thought the Commanders really had a shot in that game, everything after upsetting the Lions, everything after that was icing on the cake. The fact that they even made it to the playoffs was amazing, you know. But they're a young team, new coach, a quarterback that next year, like Riddell said it, he's going to be pushing narratives with him. If we thought the CJ Stroud talk coming to the season was bad, what they're about to say about Jaden Daniels next year is going to be like, well, I'm going to be like, fellas, please hold up. Like, it's only his second year in the league. Like,
Brandon,
please calm down.
Riddell will be saying, give it one more year. Riddell will be saying that Jaden's better than Lamar. Give it one more. Give him one more NFC championship.
He makes it to a championship game again. I don't know what to tell you.
Riddell's gonna say it.
But look,
I wouldn't be that mad.
The Eagles are a great.
I'm already
team.
saying Jaden's better than Justin Herbert. No,
like the Eagles are already a great team. God, Saquon's so good, man. Like,
He's good.
Saquon's so good. They're a great team. They're complete. I think the one thing when you say about the Eagles, they're a complete team, like top to bottom. Like, and when we talk about the game, I think there's only one really way I think the Chiefs should play defensively, but we'll talk about that later. But look, they just showed their class. Like, look, Commanders, your Cinderella run's over, man. Take everything, learn from this, and come back next season. And hopefully you can do the same exact thing you did this year. I'm not saying the Commanders are not Super Bowl contenders. They're not that. So let's calm down. They're not Super Bowl contenders, right? Because if the Lions come back and they're all healthy next year, are you picking the Commanders over the Lions next year? You're not, if everybody's healthy.
Oh man, lost both coordinators.
Depends. It depends if they can draft right or bring in free agents. Because at the end of the day, the Commanders are in a position they've never been before, really. Having a quarterback on a rookie deal with that much cap space is insane.
Oh, and guess what? People want to come to you now. There are going to be guys they're going to be free agents that are going to run to the Commanders.
Yeah,
Commanders go from a laughing stock to legit in literally a year because of the quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, the Lions, they're going to be skating uphill with their coordinators being gone. Dan Campbell just act like he got to suck the life out of him, pause, because I mean he lost that one game. He felt like he can't overcome it. He felt like
he wears his emotions on his sleeve.
Yeah,
man.
he felt like.
But he said that last year. I swear he said that last year too.
Question: how much talent? How much do the Commanders really need? Because they have a quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have a solid run game.
Yep.
They could probably use another receiver, but they have Scary Terry. They need to buff up that offensive line. Yeah. But
all their major problems are on defense, and
Yeah,
they're lucky.
Their D line is decent. They have a good. They had a great rookie corner who's up and coming, and then they also traded for Marshall Lattimore.
Yeah.
So
Marshall Lattimore is barbecue chicken.
Cooked.
You got to get rid of him.
I think you're over. I
think
think you're overreacting. He's coming off an injury. I think for the most part, next year he's going to get more familiar with the system, and him and Mike will do very well. I think their cornerback duo will be fine.
No.
I mean, Riddell, to your
look
point,
pretty bad.
Their linebacking core, two of them made the All-Pro team.
Their defensive line is the problem. Their defensive line is not good.
So
they have big dudes in
the draft and free agency. They only have
they just don't have an edge. They just
receiver and edge rusher. That's what they need.
Yeah, they have big guy. They have good defensive tackles.
Maybe another tight end. Move on from Zach Ertz.
But I think
Zach Ertz is good. Zach Ertz is good.
He is good, but how long can he stay this good?
They drafted
I think he's getting older. He's getting older by the time.
I think you're fine.
I think his name is Ben.
Offensive side of the ball. Other than I guess for instance, if I'm T Higgins, I'm going to Washington.
Yeah, he's
That's where I'm
34.
going.
He's on the back end. He's definitely on the
Yeah,
back
that's what I'm
end.
saying, dude.
but you don't.
You
But
can't rely on no 34.
no. But
They
first of all, you're
drafted
not.
a tight end last year.
They drafted one.
Not.
Yeah, but
So they
this is
got
what I'm
better.
saying. This is what I'm saying about Zach Ertz. Well, I'm saying keep him. You're not keeping him because he's going to get you 1,000 yards. You're keeping him because he's dependable. He's clearly somebody that Jaden had a quick rapport with. And he just makes plays.
Yeah.
He's a veteran. He's a veteran.
Leadership.
You need that. And you need somebody who can speak to the kids just like Scary Terry can. But those are the only two. Jaden's young. Brian Thomas, Brandon, the running back,
Bobby Wagner.
Brian Robinson.
Brian Robinson,
Yeah.
he's young. Like they're young. You think about it. They got Austin. Same thing that the Texans did last year, where they had veterans in very important positions. Like Robert Woods being a veteran in that receiver room was key, helping out Tank Dell and Nico Collins. Like they had Dawson Schultz was another guy like that. So I just think that they're lucky that since they went so deep, they didn't lose their coordinators, because I know Cliff Kingsbury was in like a lot of head coaching talks again, but he decided to stay.
Yeah.
Right. But this is only maybe a 1-year thing. Well, I still think the only reason I'm so hesitant on saying the Commanders are Super Bowl, what do you call it? Are they're not a Super Bowl contenders? Think about it in the NFC. The Eagles are better. If 49ers are healthy, they're better. They're better.
The only team I see them given trouble is the Eagles, because obviously, Howie Roseman, he's the best GM in football. They have the best team in the NFL easily. I think their roster top to bottom is better than anybody's. You got Jalen, you got stability at quarterback, you got stability at receiver, you got stability at tight end, you got stability at O-line, you got stability at D-line, you got stability at corner, you got stability at safety. They're gonna be and they're young. They're young. They're not older guys. So they're gonna have to contend with the Eagles a lot. But outside of the Eagles, you got JD, bro, when you got a franchise quarterback, the roster doesn't have to be great.
I understand, but fellas, okay, Marley, you too. The only reason that the 49ers do not make the playoffs since Kyle Shanahan has been there is because they get hurt.
Yeah,
that's the only reason that they don't. I understand just because they can't beat Patrick Mahomes like everybody else in the goddamn league, except for the dude who's calling plays on Fox and the guy in Cincinnati. Don't just think that they're trash now. Like the 49ers are still a good team. The Packers are good. Like they're in that tier. They're in the tier with the Packers. If the Vikings can somehow replicate their success with the Vikings, like the Commanders are a good team. But are they Super Bowl contenders? I don't think you can say that.
I feel like if we're taking the full context of the game that just happened, although the Eagles did spank them, I think for the most part, it would look a lot different if the Commanders weren't fumbling all the freaking time.
They did fumble
they fumbled a lot. It's like it was a ridiculous amount of time. Because we got to remember, we thought it was over when the Eagles scored the second time, but the Commanders caught right back up. They kept fighting. They caught right back up multiple times, and then a fumble happened, and then the Eagles got the ball. So in this situation with this young of a team with not as much talent, it was closer than the box score, because eventually, after all the turnovers, after all the failed opportunities, the Eagles just took advantage. They had all the momentum. They couldn't come back from all those mistakes. And the Commanders are not good enough to come back from all those mistakes like an Eagles would, or Bills would, or even the Lions would in the regular season when Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions and they still won the game. So I think the Commanders.
That was the worst game I've ever seen. That game was a. Man,
you saw Nathan Peterman play. Let's not pretend.
No. I'm talking about game. I didn't say quarterback. Oh yeah, Nate Peterman is probably the worst quarterback.
We saw Nathan Peterman play.
Nate Peterman was awful.
Then they trotted out Tyrod Taylor to save the game. Like the dude didn't throw 5 picks in the first half. In the first half.
To have Tyrod Taylor as a backup to Nate Peterson is disgusting. Somebody ought to get fired for that.
Marley, to respond to you real quick, they're going to franchise him. That's what I would do if I was the 49ers. Franchise Brock Purdy and say, show us again.
But you still got to figure out what you want to do.
Man, you got to get Debo out of there, man. That contract just looks bad now.
They can't.
Contract is so bad.
Yeah, they got to figure out what they want to do, because Purdy going to ask for money, and then that means you can't pay a lot of players.
Yeah, that team's breaking up. They're breaking up.
It's going to start getting a little crazy.
If I was the Commanders, I would – it depends on who's in free agency. I don't know if T. Higgins. I think T. Higgins is going to want to go to a place where he could be the solidified number one. I think.
No,
I think,
he wants the bag. He don't care about no number one. He wants the bag.
Bro,
yeah,
go.
but
He
he's
will go
gonna.
to the
But
Commanders.
that's going to be easier for him to get that bag in a place where, like, think about it. There's a lot of the Commanders don't need an X. They just need a slot receiver. That's what they need.
Terry can play the
Offensive
slot,
line.
Terry can play the slot.
Nah, but take that
Yeah,
off.
but
him,
I
man.
would-
But give him a good slot, man. Tear him up the middle of the field.
No, I just think if they get T Higgins, Terry can be so versatile now. Where he can play out. Let's not forget they still got other. Zacchaeus makes plays from time to time. They still Jamison Crowder is their special teams guy, but he can also make a big play. Like I think
Giambi Brown.
Yeah, Giambi, like get them that solidified X, and now you're like Terry. It's not all on you, man. Go do what you want. We'll line you up. We'll line you up in the slot. We can do everything that Cliff Kingsbury wants to do with a guy like Terry.
Yeah, give him that Jettis role.
Yeah,
that Jettis Cooper Cup role.
I personally believe T.
I think
Higgins.
Terry's better outside, to be honest.
My hot take is T. Higgins is going.
Yeah, I think Terry, his true position is outside.
Because he's more of a.
But he
deep threat
can
than
do it. He
anything else.
can do it. Yeah, he can do it.
He could do both.
Yeah,
but
he can.
I don't think T is going to the Commanders. My hot take is I think T will go to the Broncos. I think
he's going to go to Buffalo. Or
no, the Buffalo should not waste money on T. Higgins. That's not.
Why not?
That's not the answer.
I'm pushing for Tyreek Hill to go back to the Chiefs. I'm pushing for that. I think he wants.
I don't think they can afford him. He's
not.
not.
Tyreek Hill needs to.
I think his little punk ass see that he can't win no more, and he takes a team friendly deal. I think that's what it.
Imagine
now you understand. Like it ain't fun when you're losing. Now is it Tyreek?
Not only that,
bring your punk ass back right back to Kansas City.
Not only that, the fact that man left, he was like, "Oh, I'm not getting targets." Then he went to Miami, and he was going like, "Oh yeah, Tua's a better thrower of the football."
Yeah.
He was wilding with that. I was like, "All right, bro.
We'll see you in the playoffs." All that stuff. And now after Tyreek Hill left that team, they went to the Super Bowl 3 times in a row. Like if I'm Tyreek, I'm like, I'm sorry.
I know he's good. Hey man, you know I was just playing. I was
just kidding. I was just
playing, man.
And they saw him in the playoffs and then laid a complete Useg.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and Tyreek is gone. Tyreek is gone. I don't know if y'all know that. Tyreek is out of there. He said, "No, I'm out.
He's done.
I am out. I'm not coming back. I'm out."
I can
see
going
somewhere.
The Chargers too. I can see Higgins.
Talk about the game specifically,
or the Patriots. I could see the Patriots as well.
Like,
I think he wants to win though. That's my thing.
DK is going to be traded somewhere. I think there's been some talks about him going somewhere to the Chargers, maybe or something like that.
Yeah, a lot.
There's going to be some. It's going to be some dominoes falling.
Yeah, as long as whoever goes to the Chargers realizes that the best receiver on that team is Ladd McConkey.
You know me? You got Michael Myers in your room? What's going on?
I think.
I just thought I heard something. I said, "Oh no."
Like, don't go investigate. Don't be like Mike.
No.
Don't go investigate.
Oh no, like
you know your white people do, Mike. Oh my boy, what was that scary sound? Hello, is there someone out there?
Yeah. Now I'm pulling up with my bat.
Stay where you.
I'm pulling up with my bat.
Brandon, I do have a question for you.
Kneecap.
Before we get into a very specific agenda, I want to get into a little bit later. Jalen Hurts or Jared Goff?
Give me Jalen, man.
Thank you.
Give me Jalen, man.
Thank you.
Oh my God, early would throw a fit right now.
Give me Jalen. I'm sorry, though. I've seen enough.
Want to say,
I'm sorry.
Before we talk about Jalen, all I'm gonna say is those defensive tackles in that game, they double one, the other one's getting the tackle. Like that, it was severely impressive performance by those guys. Mitchell played well. DeJean had a little bit of fits with Zach Ertz, I'm not gonna lie. But overall, it was a really good defensive performance, good special teams performance. But the separator in this game is Jalen Hurts. Like Jalen Hurts damn near had a masterclass in this game. And granted, the defense isn't that good. And also, the biggest thing though, AJ Brown was really getting open like a top 5 receiver. Like these last 2 games.
I've been saying he's a top 5 receiver. Oh, top
hasn't
6.
been
I've been top 6.
Hasn't been the greatest.
He heard you,
but
Mike.
this game he was legitimately dominant.
He heard you talking crap about him.
I wasn't talking crap. I was saying because Early was making it seem like it was all because of Jalen Hurts, and it had nothing to do with that AJ Brown and Devontae weren't getting open the way that they should.
He was
That
underwhelming. He was underperforming. That's true, man. But AJ Brown played like AJ Brown in this game.
Yeah, he cooked in this game.
He was frying. He was.
That's going to be the key. AJ Brown, if you want to be in the upper echelon of receivers, then at the end of the day, you got to cook Trent McDuffie. If you can cook Trent McDuffie, you're in the top 5.
Go luck.
Man, if I'm Spags, man, I ain't putting Trent McDuffie nowhere near AJ Brown. I'm putting him on Smitty. I'm putting him on Smitty, and I'm doubling AJ Brown.
But that's a war, though, because if Trent McDuffie can strap AJ, then Trent McDuffie gets put in the big boy combos too.
No, Trent McDuffie is already one of the biggest thing about Trent. And actually, we'll save this for the Super Bowl matchup conversation. The big agenda I want to push, very simple. Obviously, I already talked about my boy Patrick Mahomes. Saquon Barkley could have. We're on the trajectory of, and sometimes Patrick Mahomes is great. Have the 3P, and people are talking about it. Well, what people are not talking about enough is that Saquon Barkley is in the midst of having the greatest running back season we've ever goddamn seen. And I feel like that. Sometimes I feel like there's conversations that people just don't have as much. Like we talk about, great quarterback seasons. We talk about, Cooper Kupp or Calvin Johnson, like great receiver seasons. Yeah, but we don't talk about great running back seasons. And maybe it's because of the weird stigma of running backs nowadays, but there's no denying that Saquon Barkley this year was having a generational run. And the current greatest running back season, I think if you really know ball, is probably Terrell Davis's MVP season in 1998.
Yeah.
Because that year he won MVP and he won the Super Bowl.
That's true.
So this year,
now, Adrian Peterson was cheaping because he had an MVP season too, but he had Christian Ponder as his quarterback, so that's kind of unfair. But yes, Saquon is having a good season.
Yeah,
now, if you give AP Jalen Hurts, my God,
I don't care about hypothetical.
My God,
I don't care. I don't care.
Riddell, I agree. I will always.
Let me wrap this up. Because I don't really care about any regular season merchants. We're talking the playoffs.
Calling him a merchant is nuts. Calling him a merchant is nuts.
We are talking the playoffs. So Terrell Davis. Terrell Davis.
The whole team.
The greatest running back season is an entire season, not regular season.
AP can never touch it. Terrell Davis could never touch AP.
I don't care. The greatest running back season is both the regular season and postseason. So Terrell Davis is currently as jockstrap. I don't care. It's playoffs and regular season. So I don't. You're giving people
Brandon, he was so good.
You're giving people pity
selling
awards.
concessions too.
I'm telling you,
everybody in Minnesota was getting fed that year.
TD won MVP. He had 2,000 rushing yards. He went to the playoffs, had a masterclass in the playoffs as well, and won the Super Bowl. Put the team on his back, and I believe he won Super Bowl MVP. So that is the greatest running back season of all time. Saquon Barkley is on the trajectory to surpass that season. Not only did he have 2,000 rushing yards and less carries, he only had 5 less rushing yards and he had 50 less carries than Terrell Davis. Mm-hmm. But also in the playoffs, eerily similar in terms of the three. They both played 3 games as of right now because TD had a bye the first week, so he didn't actually have to play in the wild card. So they're both around 400 rushing yards. Both have similar amount of touchdowns. But the difference can be that Saquon does get one more game than Terrell Davis. And if he has another masterclass like he's been having so far in the playoffs and he wins Super Bowl MVP, Saquon Barkley would have the greatest running back season of all time, and Joe Shane should be fired. The moment Saquon Barkley potentially gets a Super Bowl MVP, the moment they put it in his hands, John Morrow said, "Hey, Joe Shane, you're fired." The moment that happened,
just have his bags packed.
Yeah, just have
who they should hire. You know who they should hire? His son. They should hire his son.
Yeah, his son was like, "Yo, we should get Jaden Daniels." Even though I love Malik Neighbors, he's my goat. Jaden Daniels is different. No.
Different.
But yeah, we're here for.
I wonder what he would look like on that bum ass Giants team with that Malik Neighbors. Dude. Oh my god.
Greatest.
When I saw Saquon make that huge run against the Rams in the snow, man, and I don't know if you guys saw that, but he was smacking his helmet. He was smacking his helmet like on his way to the touchdown, bro. I was like, oh yeah, he locked in. He locked in. He not playing. He not playing with y'all.
It's like not even.
Didn't he get a rushing touchdown his first play against
Yes,
the
that was
Commanders?
his first touch was for 60.
No, it was his first 2 touches. It was his first 2.
I thought it was first touch.
I thought it was
It was his first touch, but then he didn't get the ball until the red zone. So he was like 2. He had 2 touchdowns and 2 touchdowns.
Oh, okay. Yeah, first play, big play. Like this dude. Oh my god.
But the thing is like if Jalen, like the reason why I even bring up Saquon is because it's just it's not expected to do it the way that he did. But against that Commanders defense, it's like expected that he goes crazy at this point. That's how good this man is. Like Saquon has that ability. If you give him a sliver, he's taking it a mile. Like
Saquon's so nasty now. It's almost.
It's not fair.
It's almost like seeing a bird fly. It's like yeah, it's a bird flying.
But like
we see Saquon. When you see Saquon break an 80-yard run, it's like yep, that fits. That's Saquon.
Right.
We're just so used to it by now.
Yeah, when people were calling him the Barry Sanders of our generation, they're spitting.
Because if Jalen Hurts can cook and that passing game can be efficient, that eliminates stacking the box. And if you can't stack the box, goodbye. Chiefs do not have a shot compared to the way that James Cook and Joe Mixon is looking. If Jalen Hurts is really on his ish, that's for me why it comes down to Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts has a mid game and they can stack the box, and McDuffie can do well on Brown and the other corners can strap. That's the recipe for success. But if Jalen Hurts is on his ish, like if Jalen Hurts plays 75% of what he did in the last Super Bowl, they win. They win this one. There's no doubt in my mind. They should win this game, in my opinion. I know we're going to the
It should, but I am never.
I'm not betting against Mahomes though. I'm
never bet against.
They should, but I'm not betting. I'm not betting against that man.
Let's do our Super Bowl analysis then. Let's dive into it.
I think
honestly,
Brandon, were you about to say something?
No, I was gonna be like shout out to AP because that season's still the most impressive at least I've ever seen.
Dog, what?
AP carried the fucking squad.
He was fine.
Like, people need to understand how bad that team was. People need to understand how bad that team was.
And Christian Potter.
but
Christian Potter.
Yeah, but let's talk about this. I think the Chiefs.
Christian Potter should never be talked about on the show.
Yeah.
He should he had a really good regular season, but in order to have the greatest running backs, AP is in top 3, top 4.
I'm like, put AP on
Riddell. If you
imagine
take out
AP
the playoffs,
on this,
he's number 1 though.
Like
if you take out if you just say regular season, it's AP. In my opinion.
If we're talking about regular season, then it's probably AP. Yeah, it's probably AP.
Like realistically, AP chose the team over personal glory.
Yeah.
That we were talking about, oh, this guy could do it if he played a game. This guy could do it. AP literally could have done it.
Yeah.
And he chose the team.
Saquon too. He could have done as well.
But Saquon had a whole extra game. That's what I'm talking about.
He had way less carries than Eric Dickerson. He had like 40 less carries.
But he had an extra game.
Well, everybody had.
He had way less carries.
But also look at the talent around Saquon
as we learned.
Compared to what in order for the Vikings to be successful at
AP ain't had enough. He had no receivers. He had
nothing.
No quarterback.
But we'll talk about that.
Freaking running we'll talk about a freaking man possessed by the devil. That's how the AP ran.
We'll talk about it later. Q, you're right. Like he didn't play the extra game, and that's why he's behind Adrian Peterson in terms of. But in terms of the Super Bowl, I think the Chiefs' game plan is very simple. Jalen Hurts has to beat us. He has to basically play the exact same way he did the first Super Bowl, because I am doing everything I can to make sure Saquon is not a factor. I'm like in 2001 with the Patriots and Rams. I'm hitting them every chance I get. I have somebody following him everywhere he goes. If he's on the bench, I'm on the bench with him. Like, because I need Jalen Hurts to turn into prime 28-3 Tom Brady, passing the ball, running. Like, that's the way. We lose this game because Jalen Hurts turns into the greatest quarterback performance we've ever seen. Because like Michael said, if there's a balanced attack where Saquon's going crazy and Jalen Hurts can pass it, I'm not going to say the Chiefs don't have a chance, but that game's going to be crazy because looking at Steve and the defense trying to figure out which fire to put out when I'm like, Saquon's not a factor. That's how we win this game. Saquon is not a factor. Like, and I'm saying, Jalen Hurts, do it. Show us you can play that same way again. Because, dear God, if we see Saquon break a 40-yarder for a touchdown, and that's like early in the game too, I'm like, oh no, we might have a serious problem for the Chiefs. So I think like that's why I say Jalen Hurts beat us. Now, the from just looking on paper, the Eagles match up very well against the what do you call it, the Chiefs.
Chief,
But the weak link on that defense is CJ Gardner-Johnson. If Travis Kelce has any greatness left, any greatness left, he takes CJ Gardner-Johnson's lunch money all night.
In coverage, in coverage, he's pathetic. In coverage, he's pathetic.
Yeah, takes his lunch money all night because I think trying to take deep shots with how great those corners are is you're asking for disaster. I'm not saying you're gonna pick it off, but Slay can get the ball. Slay can definitely get the ball. DeJean could be somebody who you could possibly take advantage of, but I think Ertz was able to give him fits because he's savvy. And Travis Kelce is everything but savvy.
No, you might have to put Slay on him. You might have to put Slay on Travis Kelce. You might have to.
And then after that, D line is your O line. Your Chiefs O-line, I know you go be stepping on the field, you go see Jalen Carter and be like, God damn. Then you can look over and see Jordan Davis, you're gonna be like, God damn.
Because Jordan Davis
got
a sack last game.
You're gonna look at the devil.
And then don't forget
Jordan
Bond, the dude who they signed off the street on like a minimum deal, who's an all-pro. Like, there's so much, but the Chiefs, the Eagles offensive line, their center got hurt last game. Their center got
Reed Humphreys got hurt.
No. The Eagles.
No. The
Eagles center. The Eagles center. That
he should be all right.
He should be all right. But if there is a weak link on that offense, Chris Jones right there and take that dude's lunch money. See how healthy he actually is.
Double. We all know those tackle. We all know those edge rushers ain't gonna do nothing against Mulata and what's his name, and Lane Johnson. If
nothing is a stretch. Karloff gets
I don't know. Karloff has been frying lately. I don't know what you've been, but Karloff has been frying.
It's gonna be the matchup in the trenches is gonna be so interesting to watch this Super Bowl.
It will. We'll see.
Like they're gonna be some rock fights in there, y'all. Like I want y'all to understand
because watching that Eagles Rams game, they were just running stunts with Jared Verse getting to Mekhi Becton. It really wasn't. It wasn't Lane Johnson or Mailata getting beat. Really, they were just attacking. Like Jared Verse literally like put down Mekhi Becton with an arm. He just went like, bam.
But also he's the truth. Jared Verse is the truth.
No, he really is.
He's the truth.
Really
he might be the second coming of Von Miller.
But I think,
wow, I said that. Y'all fucking.
I think Nick Bolt.
Remember when we were having the conversation where we're comparing?
He was very high on Jared Verse.
We were comparing this draft class with the infamous. What was it 20?
Oh yeah, the 2007 one or the 2011.
Yeah, one of those ones. And then Lonnie was naming them, and he said JJ Watt. I was like, "There's no JJ Watt." No, I'm not.
No.
And then he was like, Von Miller. I was like, Jared Verse could be Von Miller. Like,
you did say that.
Not happening.
I do.
Yeah. So
I can't go there yet.
Yeah, Jared Verse is a demon. Honestly, Jared Verse is playing way better than I ever expected because I expected the standout to be Latu on the Colts.
Don't sleep on Latu. That boy a dog too. Don't sleep on Latu.
I won't to be this good as a rookie. How do you expect that?
Chop Robinson's really good too. Dallas Turner is going to eventually become legit.
He's meh. He's meh right now.
Yeah, he just doesn't get playing time because he has Jonathan Greengard and Van Ginkel in front of him. But to kind of go back to this game,
the Ginkel monster.
Yeah, to kind of go back to this game, I agree with Random in the sense that Jalen Hurts has to beat him. The thing is, we know that the run defense for the past two games for the Chiefs has not been good. But at the same time, they kind of realized that the person that they are more afraid of was the passing game. CJ Stroud and Josh Allen. And they're making it actually very difficult on Josh Allen with a lot of disguised coverages to the point where Josh Allen almost threw multiple picks. CJ Stroud He took care of the ball probably better, but he threw a lot of passes in very tight situations. Nico Collins, even though he's one of them ones, was in very tight coverage with Trent McDuffie. It was hard for him to get out. He held onto the ball and got bad sacks. So Josh Allen got bad potential turnovers. CJ Stroud had bad sacks. Now in this game, they're going to realize that we don't fear Jalen Hurts nearly as much as Josh Allen, nor do we fear him as much as CJ Stroud. But they are going to run a lot of situations where they're going to send a lot of disguise coverages, disguise blitzes, and force Jalen Hurts to make a mistake. That is the key of the game. Jalen Hurts needs to make mistakes in this game. You can't allow him to sit back in the pocket because that pocket, he sometimes be just chilling and playing chess in.
Holding the
You
ball too
make
long.
it very confusing, and the Chiefs have to capitalize on those mistakes as well. So that's going to be huge for the Chiefs in this game because obviously we know that Saquon Barkley can make a play out of nothing. He is that great. He's that generational, and he will be a problem if they can set the tone with Jalen Hurts and then use that to get people like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith open. So you got to make Jalen Hurts very uncomfortable in this game. And Trent McDuffie, Shift God, I mean, Trent McDuffie will be on A.J. Brown. I
think he has to be. I think he has to be.
Yeah.
Trent McDuffie's legit. But I'm saying, like, if you really want to be held at the standard of you are the best corner in the league, you're top 2, whatever, I'm not saying that you're going to, like, give up 0 receptions. Like, you're going to give up a few receptions, but you got to be straps.
It'll be the same type of game he needs to have that he had against Nico Collins because he was making Nico Collins' life hell. It was a battle between those two.
Even on those catches. Yeah.
Exactly. So it has to be the same principle. I know people might focus on the Matt Collins catch, but that was just a perfect throw because Trent McDuffie was all over it. That was a perfect
But also,
throw.
you're going to make mistakes. Like, you're going to make, like, Trent McDuffie
didn't make a mistake
every corner
there.
makes mistakes.
But in that play, he didn't make a mistake. It's just Matt Collins was taller and Josh Allen threw a perfect pass.
No, that's true.
So in this situation, Jalen Hurts needs to be passing it in very small windows in order to get the ball to AJ if he really wants to. And Devontae Smith is going to have to make a lot of plays, but he is also going to get hit quite a bit in the middle of the field by these players. So
and Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
Dallas Goedert.
Dallas Goedert could be a very interesting player in this game too.
Because they better not put Nick Bolton on him. But Nick Bolton's going to be important. Nick Bolton's going to be super important against the run.
Him and Leo Tranquil. And Leo Chanel.
Trank, all those guys have played well this year. All those guys have played well. As you said, they were more scared about Josh Allen and CJ Stroud beating them with their arm. And I think if anybody can make Jalen Hurts look bad, I know he didn't last year, it can be Spags. Because the one thing that Jalen really struggles with is, number one, picking up blitzes, especially that are disguised well, and also holding the ball too long. Those are the two things. And that's why A.J. Brown's super important, Devontae Smith's super important, Dallas Goedert's super important. And on the other side of the football, Jalen Carter's got to be ready to play. He has to. And those two edge rushers have to beat the tackles. Because if you give Mahomes time, I don't care who you have. I don't care if you have freaking Darrelle Revis. Like, if you give him time, he's gonna make plays to win the game. So if I was the Chiefs, I mean, you gotta start off strong like you did against the Bills. If you get the ball first, you gotta score. You have to. Because if you get a couple 3 and outs, you let the Eagles just run the ball a lot and play their game, it's gonna be tough to beat them.
No, 100%. And we also got to think about the what was I thinking of? I forgot what I was thinking of for a second. But to kind of go back to this game for the other side of the aisle, I do think that the Eagles will. I do think the Chiefs, Travis Kelce in particular, needs to have a really good game. The thing about the Bills game is my expectation is that the receivers had to make big plays, which they did. Hollywood made big plays, Juju made big plays, and Xavier Worthy made the biggest play. So in this game in particular, they're going to definitely bail out, probably play a lot of man, probably disguise with some zone, not allow those big plays to happen. Travis Kelce has to be the difference maker because I don't think they're going to bail out on Travis Kelce like the Bills did. And Zach Bond is not a good coverage linebacker. And if they put the safety on him, Travis Kelce should eat there as well. So Travis Kelce, big game for him. And the 4 4 rushers for the Eagles have to get to Mahomes. Easier said than done, but they've been elite all year. So that's going to be
And
big for the
don't run
Eagles.
zone. They are a defense that's mono e mono. They believe in their talent in the secondary, and that's going to leave some matchups that can be exploited at the end of the day.
It's which if I'm looking, I don't expect this game to be very high scoring, if I'm being honest. I think the first team maybe gets to 24-28 is going to win the game. Because both defenses are great. It probably might be the defense that breaks first, but my God, you just look at that Eagles team and everything that they have. Like CJ, like to be honest with you, CJ's a backer in that game. He's just stopping the run. You put like maybe what Brandon said before he left. You put Darius Slay on, or you just double him and say, all right, we're going 1-on-1 with our corners and a safety over the top and saying, and then we're just like, all right. And then when Mahomes runs, Bond is on him. Because I think the Eagles have so many answers for what the Chiefs do, other than when Mahomes is just going to be a Mahomes, and maybe when he runs for the first down or this and that. But my God, man, it's whichever offense they kind of find it first. But if it's all like, if the Chiefs hold down Saquon, I think they win the game. I'm pretty sure they win the game.
I don't know if they will,
that's what it
but all I'm
boils
saying
down to.
is betting against Mahomes is like betting against the house. I'm not doing it. You're gonna lose most of the time, and I just can't do it until I see it. I cannot do it, man. Like the
For
Chiefs
sure.
are playing like at the end of the day, yeah, they have pressure on them, 3P, all that, but they're also playing with house money. It's never been done before, and all of these guys are experienced. So yeah, pressure is going to be on them, but it's also the same amount of pressure is going to be on Philly. This is their shot. Nobody has been able to capitalize on this Chiefs team and being the glaring favorite when it just comes to pure talent. Obviously, you don't have the same quarterback level, but at the end of the day, you have more talent than they do. This is your shot. So it's going to be equal pressure. And the one thing that I want to dead though, unless Jalen Hurts goes out there and plays like Tom Brady did in that Atlanta game or the Eagles game, please do not put Jalen Hurts top 4, top 3. I was hearing this on Trent's show. Can we dead that logic? Because when we say, oh, Jalen Hurts gets it done in big games, I totally agree. I'm on board with that. I like Jalen Hurts. But if he can do it in big games, if he can play elite in big games like he did in the NFC Championship game, why can't he do it more consistently? When we look at the top guys, they are consistent. And I'm sorry,
Michael,
I love J-Rob,
stack.
I love MJ, but don't
Michael,
do
let's
this.
keep it a stack.
Don't do this.
Out of the 4 quarterbacks in the championship game, he was the worst one.
Yeah.
He was the worst one. Just even if he was just going by how they played in the playoffs, how they played in the playoffs this year, he was the worst one. Whether or not you want to say he's injured or something or whatever, like they were like, and I remember in the Monday night game where what's the Troy Aikman and Joe Buck were like, what's going on? Like they're asking questions like, is he all right? What's going on? And the commentators were asking questions about how they were playing this and that. Like, it's great that he wins in big games. It is great. But like, there's a reason why, like, for instance, put Joe Burrow on this team. Put like you know what I mean? Like, put Joe Burrow on this team. Like this team, we have like the expectations are the same. They're supposed to win the Super Bowl, but we are not as concerned about them. Because if Joe Burrow's on this team, Rodell, I'm looking at you like, Mahomes gonna pull it out because that's what he does. No Diddy, no pause, because that's what he does. But good luck, man. Good luck. But there's a clear separator here between the two teams with how great they are, how well. Besides the head coach, but in terms of just quarterbacking, like don't be putting him up there. Don't say that he's in the same tier as Justin Herbert. You could say he's better than Justin Herbert, but he's in that same tier. He's not in the tier with Lamar, Allen, and Holmes. He's just not.
No,
I think he's top 10 for sure.
And also, you said that they don't have to necessarily stop Saquon. I feel like the biggest problem is they got to make Jalen Hurts uncomfortable. Because in the Rams game, Saquon had like what? Close to 200 rushing yards or something
200
like that?
yards.
Yeah,
He had like
Saquon
192.
went dirty, and we still thought the Rams could have won that game. If Jalen Hurts saved, Jalen Carter saved them at the end. Jalen Hurts did not have a good game, and that was because the pressure was constantly making him uncomfortable, forcing it to just be Saquon handle it. Now the Chiefs can't let Saquon do what he wants, but the biggest thing in this game is to make Jalen Hurts uncomfortable, and I do think that's what the Chiefs will do. And I also think, because I'm glad you brought up coaching, the Chiefs, other than like Vic Fangio, who's an elite defensive coordinator, so he's gonna have a good battle with Andy Reid.
Mhm.
Spags is about to make Sirianni and Kellen Moore's life hell. They ain't gonna make it fun for him. Going up
Yeah.
against Cliff Kingsbury versus going up against Dan Quinn versus going up against Spags, completely different story.
Mhm.
So this could be definitely a coaching and quarterback difference that decides this game, despite how good everybody else is on the Eagles.
And Dan Quinn, I would say great defensive coordinator, but not developmentally, yes. Talent, like finding talent, yes. I've seen it in Dallas. He drafted Micah. He drafted a lot of really good players. Deron Bland. But when you're just talking about schematically, Dan Quinn doesn't adjust. He just doesn't. I saw it all year last year. He just doesn't adjust. And Spags, he's going to adjust, and he's going to send exotic blitzes. And that's going to be hard to stop. And if I in the battle of those two, Kellen Moore and Steve, I'm taking Steve every single time. It's not even a debate for me at this point.
What a fascinating matchup this is. I'm gonna deep dive this some more.
Yeah, this one is very good when you really dive into it. Hey, Eagles Chiefs, man, we're back. We're back at it again.
Mahomes for the glory, baby. For it all.
That's it. Final prediction: Eagles gonna put up a fight. My boy Saquon's gonna do his thing, but the goddamn Chiefs are three-peating. But I will put this out there: if the Eagles do win, then the only way I'm okay with it is if Saquon has a masterclass and wins Super Bowl MVP. The worst case scenario is Jalen Hurts going crazy and winning Super Bowl MVP and the Eagles winning. I would not.
Oh, the narratives about that, because then people be saying, "Oh, now he's better than Burrow. He's better than." But I'm like, he's not. Like, he's not. And look, I try to stay away from what Early's saying because Early is nasty with it. But let's not act.
You wouldn't even give him any credit for the NFC Championship game performance.
Yeah,
he wouldn't give him any credit.
Which is asinine. But let's not act like, because the problem is still there. He's not, like, Jalen Hurts not consistent in the pocket, right? That's a big problem with him. He just can't get comfortable in there, despite the fact that he has all the talent, all the protection, the safety valves as well, and whatever it is, he might still be hurt. But God, like,
I don't think it's
this
that.
is it.
This is my analysis on Jalen Hurts. He doesn't do anything elite or great. You could say running the ball.
No, the tush
could say
push
he's
is
great.
elite, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Tush, okay. Tush push and running the ball. A tush push elite. Running the ball, you could say great. It's good to great, but I'll give you great. But like, he does everything at a good level. He doesn't do anything bad, and he also makes the plays to win games. He does. He is clutch. We've seen it, and that matters. Critical situations. There's a reason why when Bill Belichick talks about football, it's critical situations. That's not just some filler word that Bill Belichick is using for no reason. It's because plays like that matter. So,
No, I agree, but also MJ, like, you're an Eagles fan. Of course, you're gonna say that Jalen Hurts is this when
it's just the wins is a QB stat thing. Like, it matters, but context.
But you know it's not. You know it's not, because guess what? If you
It's
heard
also
the
J-Rob, though. It's also J-Rob.
But let me tell you this: both of them. If the Bengals said, "Hey, Eagles, we'll trade you Joe Burrow for Jalen Hurts straight up right now," both of you, let me say this: if the Bengals called the Eagles and said, "We'll trade you Joe Burrow for Jalen Hurts straight up," both of you guys would stand up and scream from the mountaintops that the Eagles should do it.
For sure.
Question.
If the Bills did it,
both of you will stand up on the mountaintops
No,
and say
no,
that they should do
J-Rob
it.
might not, bro. Shout out J-Rob. No hate towards J-Rob, but J-Rob might be a Joe Burrow hater. No cap.
I don't think
Because
he's
he's
not a Joe.
challenge.
He's not a Joe Burrow hater. He's just a Lamar Jackson truther. So like he loves
I'm
Lamar,
bored with
and
that.
if people trying to put Joe and Josh over Lamar, he's not gonna be as happy, especially considering he does have a lot. Like Lamar winning 3 MVPs potentially is crazy. Like at the end of the day, it's actually insane.
And that's great. And if I'm Lamar,
bro,
I
all
want
you need to-
no part. I want no part of that MVP trophy. Don't give it to me. Don't show it to me because then I'm gonna look, J-Rob, I'm gonna look at him next year. The man won 3 MVPs. And if he can't even make it to the championship game consistently, but you want us to say he's number 2 behind Mahomes when Allen found a way to do it twice. Burrow has already done it twice.
Hey,
Like,
MVPs,
I don't know what
all
to
he
tell
needs
you.
is Super Bowl, and nobody can tell me that he's not. If he wins a Super Bowl and he has 3 MVPs, no one can tell me he's not top 10. Nobody can.
Absolutely.
Nobody can.
Look, absolutely. But the problem is,
But that's a
Give
big
me
if.
Eli.
That's a big if.
like he might have the tall, because you can say whatever you want about Allen, but at least Allen gets there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I
Allen
have gone
gets
over
there.
him at this point.
And
'Cause
this year it's
Allen
even
played
worse
consistently
because
bad.
and this year's even worse because he beat Lamar to get there. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
I don't
Eli
know what to
can
tell
be
you.
around that top 20, top 25 range for me for sure. I don't know about much else. I know I'm taking Matt Ryan though. I know I'm taking Matt Ryan all the time.
Never, ever. With that said, that's wait. So I got Chiefs. Michael, Randall, who you got?
I'll take
Chiefs. Yeah, I'm also
You
going
go- you
Chiefs.
go.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm
Nah,
going
I go Chiefs
Chiefs.
game winning field goal, baby. Come on now.
I'm gonna
Come
go
on.
Chiefs.
Brady style.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Chiefs by a field goal, but like that's because my heart's like, all right, bro, you better get some last year. You was wrong, so you got to go Chiefs now, right? But
We've gone
I'm
this
looking
far.
at and I'm looking at everything the Eagles have, and I'm like, good luck, man. Good luck. And the Eagles have that added factor, like they beat us, they beat us in the Super Bowl, so that's sure there's pressure. But when you're the loser,
There's more
like,
pressure on the Eagles than the Chiefs, in my opinion. Sure, the Chiefs are playing with history.
No, I disagree.
Pressure.
I think there's more pressure on the Eagles.
I disagree.
Look,
No other three-peat potential team actually made it to the Super Bowl. The Eagles, by the way, the Eagles should not be fair. I think the Chiefs should. It's going to be a pick. The Chiefs should be like favored by a point, but
I think it's minus 1.5 Chiefs.
I just
think yes, the three-peat adds a lot of pressure. It's never been done before, and Mahomes has the ability to solidify himself as a GOAT. But I think Philly, it's been Super Bowl or bust. This year is Super Bowl or bust. This year is, if you don't get it done now, when are you ever going to get it done? And as I said, the Chiefs are really playing with house money. They are. They just are. Like,
yeah, I think
I'll say it goes both ways.
Eagles might have more pressure because they are playing the Chiefs. They're playing Mahomes. They're playing Andy Reid. I think the idea in this one is more so, can we beat this guy? Can we beat this team? And that's the pressure that they're going to think of, whereas the Chiefs are going like, we are the best. We're going to keep on proving it, and we're going to make history. And
if we lose,
in every other instance, I would agree with you. If this was a second one or the first one, the fact that you're the three-peat and you're this close, man. And the added factor of the fact that most of that team remembers the loss, right? Most of that team remembers the loss, and look, it's tough to beat a team in Super Bowl twice, right? The Chiefs have done it. Like the Giants did. But in terms of pressure, I think the fact that you're on history, you're about to do history. It's just it's not obviously it's not on the same level as 17-0, right? It's not on the same level. But it's just it's you get what I mean?
It might be.
I think from the fan base and the media perspective, then it is the Chiefs. I'm talking about the players and what they're thinking. because you got a bunch of rookies playing. You got a bunch of people who are playing against the Chiefs that you already lose to. You got a bunch of people playing against the Chiefs when we already think that the Chiefs are a dynasty and Patrick Mahomes is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. Like, there's going to be doubt, and that's why I put more pressure on the Eagles players. They're probably have a little doubt in their mind, where I don't think there's no doubt in the mind of any Chiefs players on that roster. But in terms of like how the coaches in terms of how the fans and the media perceive it, I would say the Chiefs have more pressure because they're playing for history. So I get what you mean.
I think it goes both ways, but you made valid points right now. I'm not gonna disagree with that.
Yeah. Also, Alter, I agree. We talked about it already. You know, the Chiefs scheme that can't let Saquon do what he wants. Coaches are better. Interior of the D line for the Chiefs have to rock and do good. We already talked about it, but looks like we're all going Chiefs. Let's hope that that Matt Early don't duck again. Like, you're telling me the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Not only is Lonnie ducking, but Early's ducking too.
I know Lonnie won't duck. Lonnie won't duck. He'll show up.
Random
Yeah.
and Lonnie will face the music. But all I'm saying, if it happens,
He's still upset.
Riddell is obviously going to go on a Usain Bolt level victory lap. I'll be going on a victory lap. I'm sure B will be going on a victory lap. Mahomes truthers will stand up. And if they lose, we'll be there too. Unlike her.
Yeah, I'll be there.
And last thing before we go, all I want to say is, rest in peace early. It was a tough year. Our boy had the Raiders second winning the division.
No, he had them winning the division.
Remember how mad I got when he said that? I was like,
hey man, I was cool with it because he made it better with me. So
I was like, why? I was like, why would you say that? Like, he said, what about that team says that they will win the division? What about that? What is somebody spreading malaria in the Chiefs locker room? Is that why they're winning?
Yeah,
like
it's like you hate someone so much that you will come up with any scenario for them to lose. But sometimes you just got to accept reality. Now, fortunately for me, I disliked Tom Brady for a long time. But fortunately for me, I supported the Giants.
Like Tom Brady.
So I actually had routes to be happy when it came down to Tom Brady. Early as nothing. He tried to go to Brock Purdy. He tried to go to Josh Allen. He tried to go to Lamar Jackson.
Like, I'm a little younger than y'all. By the time I really started getting into football, it was kind of past the 10 years where Tom Brady didn't win. And as a white kid with no athleticism, no speed, oh yeah, Tom Brady was my guy. Yeah, how could he not?
He was representing for the people, man.
He was representing for the misrepresented in sports. Bro.
Him and
he was, bro.
That's why I see no hands.
But there's no way Early didn't hate Tom Brady 10 years ago. There is
especially because they beat his Panthers too. They beat his Panthers in the Super Bowl.
He definitely hated him, bro. There's no way he did it.
Man, I'm so glad I'm not a Patrick Mahomes hater. I would hate life too.
Yeah, I would too.
Hey, I just don't see the moment saw Patrick Mahomes, and it was good for me because Eli Manning retired, so I really had nobody to root for. Daniel Jones was ass the moment he played. I didn't like Daniel Jones. I'm not gonna lie. I just didn't like him. I knew he was not good.
I loved him.
So the moment I know you loved him. I know you did.
He was my guy.
Yeah, he was.
I know you did. But the moment I saw Patrick Mahomes play quarterback, I was like, yo, this is the best player I've ever seen in my life. We locked in. We here. So I don't know, man. It sucks to hate on
bro, until the Eagles Super Bowl, bro, I was still with Brady because it's just so hard to definitively say it that quick. But after that Super Bowl, bro, I was like, what can this motherfucker not do? What are you supposed to do with this guy?
I'll say it like I said it before. If I understand Mahomes that had an old line, all right, his team sold him. He also didn't play well, but also if Mahomes won that game, y'all would be nasty already. So I'm not letting y'all.
Oh, we would be.
For sure. He would have no blemishes like that. He has 2 blemishes on his resume: the Bengals game where they choked, and he made up for that blemish because he played the Bengals again and won. But Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, that motherfucker Tom Brady
In
retired before
D4.
he got his get back. Like, oh,
He had
And
he had plenty
D4.
of chances, man.
he had
He had-
two chances.
he had
Because
plenty
the
of
other time
chances.
he went to the Super Bowl, Brady wasn't there. He didn't get. He
Yeah,
didn't get.
he had plenty of chances, man. He had
And
plenty of
D4
chances.
jumping off sides was crazy, but I digress.
Look, look. The AFC Championship game. I'll say it again. Like, I understand they were in that game, but Riddell, that team. There was a reason why that team fell off. The next year, they just fell right off. That team was on fumes.
That's why I
They-
give Brady respect, bro.
They had no
'Cause
business
the last 4 or
winning that
5
game.
years of Brady's career was
If
backpack city.
Mahomes beat him in his first year, because Mahomes wins that one. I'm trying to remember that play because this is the first year playing football. He played the Patriots, obviously overtime rules and all that stuff that got changed because Patrick Mahomes won against Josh Allen. So if he won that one,
Hey, I remember when they was blaming Brady for that. I was like, hey, chill out. That wasn't Brady's fault.
I'm like, people who complain about Mahomes winning.
That's why I don't bring up the shit with Brady. Like I
It just
hate
doesn't
that
make
because
sense.
it's just like
What was that Super Bowl though? Was that Rams?
that was Rams. Yeah, 2018. That
No,
was
the
Rams.
Chiefs Patrick Mahomes would have won a Super Bowl his first. He's beating that Rams team because Jared
Bro,
Goff.
that's when I felt like we were legitimately living in a fucking simulation. Was that Super Bowl?
The only thing I'm gonna say, I don't know about that because did they play the Rams earlier that season? That
It
shootout?
was a masterclass game, but Jared Goff
was
was ass in the playoffs, bro. He was disgusting.
Dookie.
and also
And bro, that Super Bowl was when I realized that cemented Belichick's legacy forever. That was
man.
like
After
you are
the Eagles won, he had to give me something like that. After the Eagles won, look, I get it.
Yeah.
But when you bench your best corner and we still don't know what happened, even though there've been multiple documentaries and nobody wants to talk about it. If Belichick was in the
Brady's
right,
best performance in the playoffs ever.
Yeah.
That was one of the best ever.
Yeah, if Belichick was truly in the right, he would have said something. Because people have been slandering him for years and he ain't said nothing. That's why I sit there and I act the way I do, because I'm like, if Malcolm Butler truly did something wrong to the point that it was that egregious that you wouldn't play him in a Super Bowl, Michael, in a Super Bowl. This isn't like, week 7 and Malcolm Butler got drunk and missed practice.
I think he was a little bit infidelitous with someone on the trainer's wife. I don't know, but I would guess it's something like that, bro, because it doesn't
this is a Super Bowl we're talking about.
Hey, man. I don't know, man, but
hey, he brought it up, but also fun fact, Jared Goff has never lost to Patrick Mahomes.
That's crazy.
Never lost.
Oh yeah, I mean he played.
That's why I'm like, I don't know, man.
That was when Kadarius that one of those games when Kadarius Toney was pulling the full crash out mode,
and that was like the one where that's the year before they did F them picks. And they had God, those teams were stacked too. If you think, and they were in LA just swapping points because they were supposed to play in Mexico City, and
that was when Todd Gurley
field.
Was legit.
And then the crazy part is the Patriots beat both those teams, and technically he beat Mahomes twice that year because they played early that year.
They did it. Like they didn't just make Goff look bad. They made Todd Gurley look bad. They made the whole offense look pedestrian.
Yeah, Sean McVay. People were looking at Sean McVay like, hey, bro.
They're looking at him like Mike Shanny for a little bit.
Hey, bro, like what's going? But hey,
that's why Sean was like, nah, bro, I need Matthew, bro. I need one of them ones.
Yeah, Matthew is 100% one of them ones. Respect him.
Hey.
But all right. With that said, that's all we got for today. Appreciate everybody tuning in for today's podcast episode. Yeah, I mean that's what happens when you have certain people ducking. But you know.
Because half of the episodes are early, just derailing the conversation. Being honest.
Hey, man! Shout out AFC.
Shout out early. Shout out.
Then he gets mad. Like, why were you raising your voice at me?
Because you're being nasty, CEO. You're being nasty, CEO. Chill.
Hey, man.
Damn.
But appreciate y'all. We should be back next week. Obviously, no Pro Bowl, I guess.
We're all right. We're all right.
Hey,
start your UFL prep. Start your UFL prep. That'd be better use of your time.
Yeah, got to start that college football prep. Got to figure out who the Giants are drafting. That's
Watch
for
the
sure.
watch the East West Shrine Bowl. That'll be a better use of your time than watch the Pro Bowl.
True. With that said, y'all have a good one. Take care. Peace.